Are we back? Those Games Workshop at the door. They said they just wanted to talk to me about something. And turns out they're like, hey, we've been monitoring the GigaBrain content engine. We've been looking at those GigaBrain content engineers in your Discord, and you had some Nighthaunt stuff that nobody else seemed to have. And I told them, look, a whole lot of people had those files. As a matter of fact, as I dug into it a little further, a whole lot of people had those files. They just weren't publicly spreading them. Well, they were publicly spreading them, let's be honest. But they weren't like posting them to Discords. Well, okay, they were posting them to Discords, but they weren't like putting them on Twitter. And they're like, oh, okay, so this wasn't a security leak. This was fourth hand, maybe, on the chain of spreading. Yeah. And they were a little less upset at that point. And I said, tell you what, in the tank, I got a lab in back. That king-sized heating rock in my bedroom, you know? Push a button, that shit slides sideways. I got a stairwell down there, spirals a few times. I got a lab in the basement. I'm cooking up an ogre book for you, Battletome. You can just use it, free of charge. And they're like, oh shit, nice. We don't have to pay you anything. We're used to that. Nice. All right, we'll take you up on the offer. So they went away. And we're back. Sorry for the interruption. We're going to go over this Nighthaunt stuff. I got my notes ready. We got our Fireslayer notes. We got our IDK notes, of which I've deleted a lot. Nighthaunt Nuits. All right, I'm ready. Anyhow, let us begin. Legion's abilities. Nighthaunt Procession. Shall I open the old book so we can compare and contrast? Please understand that whenever you get a new book and you open up the old book and directly compare new rule to old rule, stuff like that, for 3rd edition anyway, you're like always going to be disappointed because the 3rd edition books have tended to streamline stuff and essentially simplify or get rid of little random stuff. And so you're always going to feel a little worse generally. But as we've seen with all the 3rd edition books so far, people are originally kind of down on them, and it turns out fine because 3rd edition is different. It plays different than 1st and 2nd. So I'm putting that up there just so the tapes can be a little bit ready. Anyway, Legion's ability is Nighthaunt Processions. Pick one of the following subfactions for your army: Grieving Legion, Emerald Host, Scarlet, Doom, Quicksilver Dad. Okay. Aura of Dread. Enemy units are terrified while they are within 3 of any friendly Nighthaunt units. Oh, terrified. We have a new little keyword. That's good. While a unit is terrified, it cannot issue or receive the Inspiring Presence command specifically. This ability has no effect on Nighthaunt units, so your mirror matches are going to be fucking annoying, but okay. I can't believe they stole Games Workshop. James Workshop copying my homework and changing it so it doesn't look like he copied. Although theirs is worse because theirs is just talking about Inspiring Presence. Mine is all command abilities, it's better because it's fucking army-wide. Jesus Christ. Army-wide? It's 3 inches, mine is 6. I made it 6 because I was thinking about you actually playing through it, and if your opponent is aware of that ability, they can remove casualties close to your guy, so that now they're outside of 3, right? And then they don't have to worry about it, which is a way to play around it here if you happen to be fighting 2nd against Nighthaunt. Anyway, good idea. And I like calling it terrified. I like the rule calling back to, this thing is terrified. This is what terrified does. This is good. Just from reading this, I don't think this is, even though there is no such thing, I don't think this is bin guy. Because this rule is like pretty nice. It's pretty creative. No honking terrain, huh? Ethereal. Alright, what were they going to do with this one? I haven't seen this one. I've seen Aura of Dread. I can tell you that. What's Ethereal going to do? Because 3rd edition is the save stacking edition. And so Ethereal is actually a bad thing. Almost, I think I'm ready to say Ethereal is, in most situations, simply a downside. But what does it do? Nighthaunt spirits are nigh on impossible to land a blow upon and can pass through the corporeal at will. Friendly Nighthaunt units have a ward of 6 up. Bro, a 6 up ward is nearly impossible to roll. It's the least likely outcome on a d6. If you're comparing it to 3 possible success outcomes, 2 possible success outcomes, anyway. In addition, friendly Nighthaunt units can retreat and still charge in the same turn. That is a very strong ability. Retreat and charge, army-wide, is really, really good. I'm jealous as AF. As a Beast Claw player, seeing other people have retreat and charge fills me with a burning envy. So that shit's hot. 6 up ward, I sleep, I don't care. Retreat and charge army-wide, real shit. Ignore modifiers, positive and negative to save rolls for attacks target friendly Nighthaunt. Okay, so they kept that part the same though. Okay, so you still don't get to participate in any of the save stacking, which is a shame. And you put the ward of 6 up in this paragraph, and you put the retreat and charge rule in this paragraph, but those are 2 rules. You could have just given the army in any other place. You put them in the ethereal thing to trick your brain into thinking that the ethereal doesn't suck, but it does. Alright. Okay. We'll see what kind of heroic action they get instead of best day ever. We'll see what if any spells they have that get to compete with their equivalent version of maybe like an alternative Mystic Shield, something like that. We'll see. Retreat and charge army-wide is strong. This is a fact. Ethereal sucks. 6 up ward. I sleep. Okay. Oh yeah, Aura of Dad. Aura of Dad. Fun. Good, even. Getting retreat and charge army-wide more than makes up for ethereal actually being bad. It's totally different. It's like, what if alright, so you go to McDonald's, and you're like, I want a double cheeseburger. And they're like, oh, double cheeseburger, huh? What if I were to give you a 5-piece drill bit set instead? 5-piece drill bit set's pretty nice. I happen to need a 5-piece drill bit set because the other one I left in my trunk and like something spilled on it and now it's kind of rusty. But what we were talking about was food, and this is totally different, right? And so that's how I kind of feel about this ethereal rule. Retreat and charge is really good, but it has nothing to do with a durability ability, right? And so to me, they're entirely different things. I don't think I'm not complaining yet. This isn't a complaint. I guess I was thinking about like some way that ethereal was going to get changed, and instead they're like, how about a brand new car? And I'm like, hey, retreat and charge is very good. That's true. Anyway, discorporate. Unit's command ability when a friendly Nighthaunt unit is picked as the target of an attack in the shooting or combat phase. Aha, okay. It's all out defense. I bet it ups its... Yep, it ups it by 1. Okay, so it makes it a 5 up. Alright, cool. So this tells me they're just going to give Nighthaunt all the save stacking, but you're not stacking your save, you're stacking your ward. Okay. This is a fine solution, and one of the possibilities for a solution, and so this was it. And it turns a 6 up, which I sleep on, to a 5 up, which to me is actually worth something. Doubling its effectiveness, mathematically. Wave of Terror. After a friendly Nighthaunt unit finishes a charge move, you can look up the unmodified charge roll for the charge unit. The charging unit on the Wave of Terror table below. Pick one enemy unit within one of the Nighthaunt unit, and then apply the relevant effect from the table to that enemy unit. If you prefer, you can pick an effect from a lower unmodified charge roll. Nice, good. Oh, good. Man, imagine a Games Workshop game giving the player a choice, and hence agency, ever, instead of just roll a die and do what the fuck ever it says. Great. Yeah, this is... I don't know if this is Sin Guy or not, But first of all, such a person doesn't exist. And then second of all, these rules so far are so much more interesting and better written and thoughtful than what I was expecting. And so I'm very pleased. It says nothing really of the power level of the army. I'm just pleased with how the rules writing is evolving. Awesome. Anyway, what's the Wave of Terror table? Unmodified charge roll of 4 to 7. Oh, so you don't even get it on a 3, huh? Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit in the following combat phase. So Shriek, Stun, or Petrify. Subtract 1 from the save rolls. Ooh, big render. Okay, nice. You need an 8+, so you have to get above average. And then 10 up is Petrify. The Strike Last effect applies to that unit in the following combat phase. Alright, so this is a replacement for the casino 10 up, double attackies, fight them in the charge phase destruction ability that found its way into a death battle tome somehow, which is what it originally did. So, cool. This is great. Designer's note, an enemy unit can be affected multiple times by Wave of Terror effect, as long as each effect is applied by an unmodified charge roll from a different charging Nighthaunt unit. So, we're trying to MSU. Probably don't have Warscrolls good enough to do that, but we'll see. The old Nighthaunt Warscrolls were very bad. Let's read this carefully. After a friendly Nighthaunt unit finishes a charge move, apply the relevant effect to the enemy unit. Yeah, these seem like they stack, and then the designer's note doubles down on the fact that, yeah, you can stack them. Cool. And it is the unmodified charge roll, importantly. Judging by the high rend in Slaves to Darkness, it seems like rend is going up, so Ethereal might still be good again. So, it seems kind of strange, doesn't it? Maybe I'm generalizing too much. 3rd edition comes out. Turbo save stacking Clown Fiesta. And then they start printing battle tomes, and everything rend just creeps up to be able to do any damage to anything. And then by the end of it, aren't you kind of in the same place you used to be before you giga buffed everybody save stacking? But maybe I'm painting with too wide a brush there. Wave of Terror seems fun. Wave of Terror. Fun. Enjoy stacking. And designer's note. Stacking fun, maybe even good fun, yeah. Ethereal is as powerful as rend is common. Kind of. I think it's a two-pronged approach. How common is rend, and how common is being able to save stack your stuff. And then you factor both of those things in, and that determines how good rend is. Or that determines how good Ethereal is. So if most stuff in the entire game has 1 rend, maybe 2, and save stacking is Looney Tunes, which is how it was in the beginning of 3rd, then Ethereal is awful. Like a straight detriment. But if everything has 2 or 3 rend, then Ethereal is looking better. And let's pretend there's no save stacking at all. Well, shit, then, Ethereal is overpowered. Some people claimed it might be in, middle of 2nd edition with Realm artifacts and stuff. When there was basically no save stacking, but there was shitloads of rend everywhere, then suddenly Ethereal is actually overpowered. Anyway, Frightful Touch. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made by a friendly Nighthaunt unit is 6, the attack wounds the target automatically. Do not make a wound roll. Okay, so Frightful Touch nerfed. Frightful Touch nerfed big. Feels like Nurgle alternative worse way of just proc mortal wound. Your damage is a bit low. And then Vanishing Phantasms. At the end of deployment, before determining control of objectives, you can remove up to 3 friendly Nighthaunt units from the battlefield and place them to one side to be set up an ambush as reserve. At the end of your movement phase, you can set up 1 or more of them in ambush on the battlefield, more than 9 from enemy units. Oh, they call this ambush too as well. Maybe I was just not thinking about it correctly. I always assumed that ambush was the board edge type and deep strike was the anywhere type. But maybe deep strike was always just a 40k thing that everyone used the lingo, and so that's what I learned at the time. Vanishing is fun, and there's some mind games with it. Fun roll. You think the save stacking was designed to counter the shooting meta? I disagree because I think it was core rules. Are you trying to counter a metagame with your core rules, or are you trying to build a new version of the game. I'm not sure about that. Also, if they were concerned about countering the shooting meta, why did they create the most powerful shooting meta that the game had ever seen almost? You know? Besides all the armies that are going to be in my tournament, I guess. What I think really pushed the shooting meta was fucking over hordes so hard and giving monster heroes big abilities. And so everybody just wanted to play monsters, and the way you kill monsters and single units is by shooting them, for the most part. Also, shooting is like the safest way of addressing any problem. You personally don't think Frightful Touch is nerfed? It is for like 4 units, sure, but it is now army-wide. Yeah, I guess I should point out that it is army-wide. I don't think it used to be army-wide, it's just that stuff had it, right? But Frightful Touch is definitely a worse version of anything that used to be called Frightful Touch. Although now it's army-wide. Enhancements, command traits. I don't know if I need to see this right away. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go in order. They put it in this order on purpose. Let's go through it in order. Shades of Death. Lingering Spirit. The general has a ward of 4 up for damage inflicted by mortal wounds. Yep. Okay. Cool. This is a very playable command trait. Depending on, you know, what you want your general to be doing. If it's not dying. Need I remind you that this used to be available to every army in the game. It was called Ignax's Scales. And it was a moderately common choice. Out of Akshi, the Fire Realm in Malign Importance, or Sorcery. Terrifying Entity. Enemy units are terrified if they are within 6 instead of 3 for the purpose of fun. Cool, okay. So you embigify your battle trait order. That's cool. This makes it harder for those enemy units whomst you are killing to remove their casualties in such a way so that they're outside of 3 of you. Which, as I was reading it up here, was in my head, I'm like, okay, so someone could do this, a clever opponent or something. And this one makes the aura big, although just for the general. Ruler of Spectral Host. Once per battle, at the bright, shiny light of your movement phase, pick one friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit that has been somethinged. After you pick a unit that has been destroyed, roll a die. Oh, I assume destroyed, I guess. On a 4-up, a new replacement unit with half of the models from the unit was destroyed running up is added to your army. Set it up wholly within 12 of the general and more than 3. Oh, so you get Loon Shrine effect. Once per battle, at the something, I'm assuming end, of your movement phase. So once per battle, you roll a die, and nothing happens. Can we please stop doing this? I beg of you. If you're going to roll a die on a once-a-game ability, it should do something or something. It shouldn't do nothing. Man, I was singing your praises with your clever rules writing up here, but you fell for the oldest trap in the book. Don't do this. Hatred of the Living. You can reroll hit and wound rolls for attacks made by melee weapons by this general if the targeted enemy unit that does not have the death keyword. Yeah, who plays death, right, I guess, but they gotta slip a few bad ones in there, I guess. I mean, it's a good one if you flip the coin and it comes up heads, right? Right? It should always do something, but do something more if you win the roll. Yes, exactly. I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on it, and I've done a few once per game effects for my custom ogres when I was writing those rules. But all of the once per game effects that exist there are stuff like roll a die on a 1 through 4, it does this thing that's very good. And then on a 5 or 6, it does this thing that's slightly better. Or at very least, on a 1 through 4, it does something that's pretty good. And on a 5 to 6, it's very good. You know? I would much prefer that to once per game, roll a die, nothing happens. Thanks for playing. Hatred of the Living is the kind of ability that if Games Workshop took my one piece of advice... When somebody asked me one time, they're like, what's the one thing you would change about Age of Sigmar to make it a better game? And that was a hard question, right? To me, the one thing I would change to make Age of Sigmar a straight up better game is all of your rules / items and equipment, whatever, all of those choices, command traits, artifacts of power, spells, big name on your guy, the color of your fucking wizard with his, you know, Warscroll spell, prayer, stuff like that. You choose all of that stuff when you deploy that unit at the start of the game, not on your army list. Like, you see what your opponent is playing, They see what you're playing, and then as you deploy stuff, you choose. And so it's kind of like sideboarding a little bit for Age of Sigmar. And you could put more silver bullets like this in there then, and they would be sometimes chosen, right? I think that might lead to, if they did it right and designed abilities with that in mind, that might reduce the harsh rock, paper, scissors that some people often run into with Age of Sigmar. Yeah, I think that kind of pre-sideboarding for Age of Sigmar is proper for a game that takes 2.5 hours. Spiteful Spirit. At the end of the combat phase, if this general was allocated any wounds that were not negated during that phase, you can then roll a number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic of the general for each 4-up. Each enemy unit within 6 suffers 1 mortal wound. Damn. This thing, if this was written 8 months ago, this ability would say, at the end of the shooting phase, pick 1 enemy unit within 3 and roll a die. On a 5-up, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. That's what it would read if this rule was written 8 months ago, a year ago. And now look at how far they've come. It's each enemy unit within 6. It's a 4-up. It's at the end of the combat phase. You're rolling a bunch of dice instead of just 1. I don't think it's any good, but perhaps you have a very durable hero that's able to take a bunch of damage and then heal up and somehow not die. And then you could make like a porcupine hero or something like that. It's maybe a possibility. And then Cloaked in Shadow. The general cannot be picked as the target of a shooting or combat attack by more than 1 unit per phase. What an ingenious little rule. I like this. This is good space. Cloaked in Shadow is good space. Fun. Good work. I like that one. What else? Ruler of the Spectral Host. Please stop. Get some help. Once per game, 50% nothing happens. You guys have phones. You know what?
What's wrong with you?
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Reggie. Lingering Spirits is, the big defense one. It's the one I feel like taking here. If you have I don't know, maybe you can build a Smash Bat hero against non-death somehow. Spiteful Spirit doesn't seem very good, but it might be if you have a big durability hero. Cloaked in Shadow feels fun. Yeah, Cloaked in Shadow, maybe Lingering Spirit, everything else not too excited about it. Maybe you take Ruler of the Spectral Host, even though it has a 50-50 chance of doing nothing, just to give you guys back, I guess. Just because it sucks doesn't mean it sucks, remember. Anyway, Artifacts of Power. Cloak of the Waxing Moon. The Waxing Moon. So the moon that is getting larger. The big moon. Subtract 1 from the attack's characteristic of melee weapons that target the bearer to a minimum of 1. Okay. Pendant of the Fell Wind. Subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by enemy units while they are within 3 of the bearer. You son of a bitch. Stop stealing my moves. I had an ability for custom ogres called Gluttons for Punishment, and it was, if this unit is eating, it is at -1 to be wounded. Hot damn, they did it. Anyway, cool. And I think it was a funnier name, because there are gluttons in the army. Anyway, Midnight Tome. Wizard only once per battle. If the bearer attempts to cast a spell, it would summon an endless spell. The spell is automatically cast. Casting roll of 12, cannot be modified. Do not roll the 2d6, and cannot be unbound. Well, if you have the hot shit endless spell that is part of your flow chart, how to just play ABC, point, click, win, then this thing would be an auto include. If the endless spells are anything like almost every other endless spell for every other army, this is a waste of time. So I guess we'll have to see. Have you considered not writing good rolls? No, this is great. I'm pleased. I'm probably giving them... Am I giving them a default artifact too? Arcane Tome? Probably. I mean, subtract 1 from wound rolls in melee is okay, but I'm imagining this is a horde army, so imagine being in combat with your heroes if you don't want to be. And command trait, probably Lingering Spirit, I think, out of everything. Okay. Midnight Tome is either Johnny Fun or useless. Return to this one once I read the endless spells. This might be something for Johnny, or it's nothing. We'll see. Next. Weapons of the Darned. Shadow's Edge. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons. Unmodified wound roll for the attack is 6. Attack inflicts D3 mortal wounds. Attack sequence ends. Not exciting, but the fact that it works on wound roll probably means it just can't be that great. It's instead of, I like how it's a D3 mortal wounds instead of 1, but I don't know. Is there going to be a smash bat 8 attacks per model hero that's going to properly benefit from this, that hits on 2-ups or something? Also, doesn't this, like, vanishing, hold on, Frightful Touch. Yeah, if you hit on a 6, the attack wounds the target automatically, so you don't even make the wound roll. This is literal non-bow. Wait, can you choose, or is it automatic? Please tell me it's automatic. Yes, you don't even get to choose. You can't even choose. If the hit roll is a 6, it doesn't say you can, it's just that attack wounds automatically. You have to perform the non-bow. Oh, glorious. Absolutely glorious. Just a bit outside. Alright. Shadow's Edge. Shadow's Edge. The absolute state of non-bow. The weird, pathetic younger brother of combo. Awesome. Okay. Alright. Okay, dude. And so, in this army, if you happen to roll a 6 to hit, you auto-wound. And you can't choose not to auto-wound. And this thing procs on wound rolls. So this, effectively, this weapon doesn't do anything if you roll a 6 to hit and use your battle trait, because you have to. Even without the non-bow in here, I'm not particularly impressed by it, and I was thinking it wasn't that great. And then I was thinking about the number of attacks a hero could get, and then it occurred to me, wait a minute. Reaper of Sorrows, which is what you will be doing after reading the first artifact. Pick one of the bear's melee weapons before the bear attacks that weapon. Pick one enemy unit within one of the bear and roll 2d6. Please don't compare it to bravery. If the result is higher than the target's bravery, the weapon's Ren characteristic becomes awesome for attacks made against that unit until the end of the phase. That weapon's Ren characteristic is even yet more awesome if the target is terrified. Okay. I know somebody is going to read it this way. Alright? They're going to ignore everything here. They're going to ignore rolling. They're going to ignore if the result is higher. They're going to skim past this entire... And they're just going to look at this sentence right here. That weapon's Ren characteristic is -4 instead of -3 if the target is terrified. And they're going to ask, well, if my target is terrified, does that just mean that my weapon is -4 rend out of nowhere and I'm not doing any of this other stuff up here? Someone's going to ask this question, and you can tell them no. That's not how it works. And in fact, it's not even one of those GW things, because it says instead of -3. And how does it become -3? By rolling this die. And so it's self-referential. You can't even angle shoot read it improperly, but someone is going to think that. And you can safely tell them it is -4 instead of -3. Well, how would it get -3? Well, by rolling that dice. It's not just in an open field, free of all context and words and their meanings before and after it. It happened already today, I bet. I bet somebody asked that. Do you have actual bravery penalties in this army? If so, this could be okay. Ish. But again, I don't know how smash battable your Nighthaunt heroes are going to be. If anyone is going to have an ability that's based on bravery and is actually good, it should probably be Nighthaunt. So I'm going to be reading these instead of just skipping them. The enemy has to be terrified if you're attacking? Yes, yeah. I mean, by default. If they're within 3, they are terrified. That's it. That's what it means to be terrified, is to be within 3 of a Nighthaunt. And so the person would probably be trying to claim that terrified people are just always at -4. Which would be curious, considering why are you even quibbling about -3 in that case? If everything is just always -4. But, alright. When you pick the bear to fight for the first time in a turn, before the bear makes a pile-in move, you can pick one enemy model within 1. Roll a die if the roll is greater than the model's wounds characteristic. It is slain. Okay. Hey, Swallow Hole is good. It's greater than, not greater than or equal to, but Swallow Hole is a good ability. As soon as they let unit champions use command abilities, Swallow Hole became terrifying. Swallow Hole became way better to me. Instead of like, oh, I got your banner bearer, which may or may not matter. It's like, oh, I got your dude who has the ability to issue and receive or issue commands, unless it's an elite unit or something like that. Will I be using any of these? No. Will I be using any of these? Probably not. Will I be using any of these? Maybe Lingering Spirits. I don't think Cloaked in Shadow. Cloaked in Shadow feels cool until you realize that usually what kills you is a single unit of shooting, and not a bunch of different ones. Infernal Triageurs. Light Shard of the Harvest Moon. Once per battle at the start of the combat phase, you can say the bearer will release the baleful gloom of the Light Shard. If you do so, add one of the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by the friendly Nighthaunt units older than 12. Once per battle, +1 attacks, everybody within 12. It's good. Alright, this is it. This is the artifact you take. Everything else, I'm ignoring. Look, it's synergy. Good. This is a good. Okay, I'm taking that one. Yeah, it's only once per battle. And I'm used to seeing stuff like this from older editions where your dude just did that for the entire battle, but it was more about Death Stars back then. So we'll take it. Also, why aren't you making me roll a die and it on a 4-up this happens and on a 1-3 nothing happens? Why not that? Kidding. Alright, Light Shard. It's good. Look, a buff. Once per game that actually works. Beacon of Nagashazar. Once per battle in your hero phase, you can say the bearer will call the souls of the lost to the beacon's light. If you do so, you can return one slain model to each friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit on the battlefield. Once per battle, you can turn one. Are we an elite army? I guess it's each on the battlefield, so maybe you want MSU, kinda? I don't know about this one. Does this mean we're just not getting a lot of regen? Once per battle in your hero phase, you can regen one dude in every unit. Is this the book telling me that there will be basically no regen at all in this whole book? If this is a once per battle ability on an artifact? Or is this like opening yourself up to playing some sort of like elite ghost MSU thing? I'm seeing a lot of MSU pushing with this stuff stacking up here. Vanishing Phantasms. Okay. Currently, I don't think I would ever choose this, but this is the kind of thing that you have to have read everything to know if it's good or not, I think. Soulfire Ring. At the end of the combat phase, you can heal up to D6 wounds allocated to the bearer if any attacks made by the bearer in that phase. Slay an enemy model. Okay. If you have a combat hero, maybe you... I mean, I'm taking Light Shard, probably. I don't know how much healing there is in this book, but probably not. Covetous Familiar. Enemy units that finish a pylon move within 3 of the bearer suffer 1 mortal wound after the pylon is made. Okay. 1 mortal wound, huh? That's it. Witch Light Lantern. Wizard only once per battle. The wizard attempts to cast 1 additional spell that it does not know. That it does not know from the lore of the underworlds. Look at them trying to do a sideboard. Remember when I talked about sideboards? You just choose something that already is a sideboard, and then you have to decide what to do later with it. Fun. Anyway, lore of the underworlds. Nagash and Nighthaunt hero wizards, including unique units, only. If Nagash is part of the Nighthaunt army, he knows all the spells. Good. As he should. Lord of Death. Soul Cage. Soul Cage is a spell that has casting value of 7. I remember Soul Cage. Wasn't this thing fun before? Wasn't Soul Cage fun? I recall it being fun. Casting value of 6 is a cast. Until the start of your next hero phase, the unit cannot retreat. In addition, until the start of your next hero phase, it cannot fight in the combat phase unless all other enemy units that are eligible to fight have already done so. Okay, yeah. It used to be fight last. Ish. Unless it was the only thing in combat. The strike last effect apply. Yeah, so they just simplified it. They're like, hey, instead of kind of strike last, it just is. That's easy, right? This is just a streamline. Spirit Drain is a spell that has a casting value of 7 and a range of 18. This will cast, pick 1 enemy unit within range, invisible, and roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in the target unit. For each 6, it's 1 mortal wound. It's trash. Life Stealer. Spell is casting value 7, range 12. So cast, pick 1 enemy unit within range invisible. The target suffers D3 mortal wounds. You can heal 1 wound allocated to caster for each mortal wound that was allocated and not negated by that spell. It's trash. It's kind of okay on Nagash, I guess, because healing him up is useful. But it's trash. Also, Soul Cage is pretty decent with MSU. This is another thing pushing you towards MSU in the book, I think. Seal of Shaiish. Cast on a 5, range 12. Pick one friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within range invisible. The unit has a ward of 5 up until your next hero phase. Good. Okay. Cool. Seems strong. I'm choosing it. Shade Mist. Value of 6, range of 12. So to cast, pick one friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within range invisible. Subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks that target that unit. Subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks that target that unit until your next hero phase. This is another non-bow? I mean, it's not a full non-bow. No, okay. You're targeting friendly Nighthaunt. Never mind. I thought this was a combat bonus. For some reason. Because I heard Twitch Prime and I was thinking about thanking that guy. No, this is just upping your durability. Got it. Anyway, I misread Shade Mist because I was thinking about that. Yeah, this is your durability increase number 2. So you have Shade Mist for people actually rolling dice against you by the time it gets to wounding. And Seal of Shaiish, which is awesome. So we have two big defense spells. A Fight's Last that plays nicely with MSU. Spirit Drain, which is awful. And Life Stealer, which is bad. Spectral Tether. Can go with 4. Remove the caster from the battlefield and set it up anywhere more than 9. Caster cannot move. Dude, your teleport is on a 4? Holy shit. It's just the caster, right? So obviously Nagash likes that one. He likes a 4-up teleport that he automatically casts. If there wasn't such a thing as miscast in the game, on Snake Eyes he would successfully cast this spell. Yeah, Nagash teleports behind you, nothing personnel, kid. I don't think one of your dinky little heroes would necessarily want to teleport too badly without their clog of ghost men around them. And you don't have your battle trait to teleport your clog of ghost men around you if you're a general anymore. I could see maybe choosing it, but Seal and Shade Mist are good. I'm never gonna say I don't want to teleport. I don't have the guts. Also, once again, if we get a double caster and one of your endless spells is really good, we can combo up like, okay, Spectral Tether close enough to the enemy, and then still during, I'm gonna summon something, and we'll see about it. We'll see what's happening. Could be cool. Spells are good. All right, let's get to the sub-allegiances, shall we? The Grieving Legion, dragged into the grave. Enemy units cannot retreat while they are within 3 of any friendly Grieving Legion units with 10 or more models. Wasn't there already a can't retreat thing somewhere up here? Was it a trait? It might have been a trait. I could have sworn I read a can't retreat thing somewhere else as well. But maybe I'm imagining things. Okay, well anyway. Grieving Legion. Enemy units cannot retreat while they are within 3 inches of any friendly Grieving Legion units with 10 or more models. So, can't retreat is one of those abilities in the game that never matters ever. Unless, when it does matter, which will not be very often, but when it does matter, your opponent will try to retreat, and you'll say, actually, this is a Grieving Legion. If I recall, I told you at the beginning of the game, you can't retreat. Your opponent will be like, oh, so I actually just lost the game this exact moment, and you'll say yes. So, 99% of the time, you can't retreat from that opponent. Doesn't matter. Does nothing. But 1 out of 10 games, maybe 1 out of 6 games, if it does actually end up mattering, your opponent will immediately lose the whole game because of it. Like, oh shit, so I can't retreat from this unit that's going to kill me and then capture this objective and then also capture my battle tactic and win by 1. Instead, I'm just stuck here and the game is over, and you'll be like, yeah. So, there is a big difference between those two ends of the spectrum, but I feel like every time I read about can't retreat, I need to defend it a little bit, because it could fly under people's radar. That being said, it has to have 10 or more models, which is maybe a big downside. I'm not sure. It might be a big downside. And I tend to retreat a lot, which might surprise people, but I do. These call players don't just charge always, Sometimes they retreat so that they can charge if they win priority next turn. Emerald Host. Okay, this was one of the new ones. Lady O. After armies have been set up but before the first battle round begins, you can pick up to D3+1 different enemy units on the battlefield. At the end of each battle round, roll a die for each unit you picked that is on the battlefield. On a 2-up, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If that unit is a monster, it suffers D3 plus 1 mortal wounds instead of D3. So 2 to 4 units on the battlefield are going to suffer essentially D3 mortal wounds every turn forever on Emerald Host. This is fun. This is a fun one. Beware 5 wound shithead heroes hiding inside of a building surrounded by 30 guys. I guess, right? Emerald Host feels the Scarlet Doom. After a friendly Scarlet Doom Bladegheist Revenant unit makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy within the... You do roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in the charging unit for each 5-up its mortal wound. So 3 mortal wounds out of 10, maybe? A little better than a D3 impact hit-ish. Scarlet impact hit. Bladegheist Revenant MSU stuff. That's good, you think, especially if you want a Bladegheist army? I mean, if you want a Bladegheist army, you would choose it just for the battle line status. Maybe. Kind of depends on how good Chainrasps are. You have 30 of those? You might need 30 more? Well, we'll see. We'll see about that one. The Quicksilver Dad. Artisans of Harrowing Death. Ward rolls cannot be made for wounds caused by attacks made with melee weapons by friendly. Quicksilver Dreadscythe Herridans. Okay. So for those people who are frustrated with wards being everywhere, in the edition where the least amount of wards have ever been around, they can overcompensate by taking this instead of a better one. Unless Dreadscythe Herridans are just really good, in which case, sure. Assault to Claim. After deployment, but before the first round begins, enemy unit with the highest wounds characteristic is marked as the target. If more than one unit has the highest wound characteristic, you can choose which of the two. Oh, you're finally letting us choose? Why don't you have me roll a die? I play a Games Workshop game. Why are you letting me choose anything? Anyway, I'm kidding. When the battle ends, complete the grand strategy if the target was destroyed. Okay. Highest wound count thing. This is actually kind of almost interesting. Yeah, sold a claim. Wait a minute. I skipped the last sentence. Hold up. When the battle ends, you complete the grand strategy if the target was destroyed, and I stopped reading here, but let's... By attacks made by a friendly summonable unit. Never mind, I'm out. Nope, I'm out of here. See ya. Goodbye. Actually, I'll take all my battle line isn't destroyed. For 900, Alex, it's over. Yep, okay, well, we almost had something. I'm out of here. Fright or Flight. Funny name. When the battle ends, you complete this grand stratagem if there are no enemy units within 6 of any friendly Nighthaunt units that are contesting an objective, if you've tabled your opponent. Feed on Terror. When this battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if one or more units on the battlefield are terrified. So at the exact moment that the game ends, you have to randomly and luckily happen to be in combat. Nope. Oh, designer's note, you cannot complete this if you table your opponent. Well, forget what I fucking said then. Sorry I blew up. Yeah, it seems like you cannot complete this if they are tabled, so you just... Okay, well... Thanks for reminding me. Designer's note, you already were not ever going to choose this, but let me sweeten the deal. What if you're really never going to choose it? Hey, thanks. I already wasn't, but thanks for adding this other thing on here. Just as a reminder, it's almost like they're reminding you that this thing is terrible, and you're never going to choose it. Just so you know, disclaimer, you can't actually complete this even if you win really hard. So good. Alright, Dismantle the Brave, the Brave. After deployment, but before the first battle round begins, the enemy unit with the highest bravery is the marked target. Oh, we got marked targets. You can pick. When the battle ends, you complete the grand stratagem if the target has been slain, and the model chosen to be your general has not been slain. Alright. I'll take all my battle line is not destroyed. Thanks for playing. Alright. Everything in your book is summonable outside of heroes. Yeah, I was prepared for that to be the case. So it's possible that this is, you know, this just means one of your hammers kills the guy, right? Unless Black Coach kills it. Oh, please tell me. Is Black Coach a hero? I'm cheating. I'm fucking cheating. Give me the fucking hero keyword or give me undeath. God damn it. It's 335? Okay. Just make it a hero.
Every night.
It's so simple. You just have to do that. Wait, 335 might be good. It could be strong. Massive copium, but 335, like, this thing could be like the shit now. They could have buffed it. Even though it's not a hero, maybe its stats are good or something. As long as it doesn't have that stupid fucking level up ability, it's a pain in the ass. Am I just like cheating and I'm not gonna go to, I'll wait. I just wanted to see if it was a hero or not. Feel the phantom pain in my hand. Yeah. Every night. Alright, battle tactics. Chilling boys. Overwhelmed with dread. You reveal this battle tactic, pick one enemy on the battlefield, you complete it if it is affected by Shriek, Stun, or Petrify during this turn. Which I feel is like pretty safe if you charge it with two things. Like, conceivably you'll get at least one of these. This is a reasonable choice, I think, if you're also on that MSU kind of plan thing. It's not or, it's and. Wait, what? You reveal this, you complete this tactic if that unit is affected by the Shriek, Stun, and Petrify. I'm out. I push the eject, I fly out of the aircraft, and I pull the ripcord on my parachute, and I safely land in an open field next to bales of hay that Monet is painting. I'm out. I'm fucking out of here. Alright, Tides of Terror. You complete this tactic if at least 2 friendly Nighthaunt units are within half an inch of the same enemy unit at the end of this turn. So, like, if you accidentally kill it, which is doing something good, you are punished for succeeding too hard. So, okay, well, in a certain type of army, you might choose this. Let's say you have 2 units of 30 Chainghasts or something like that, and they're just supposed to sit there. You could maybe choose this on one of your turns on a giant blob unit that's not trying to actually deal any damage. Then an enemy can't retreat from. This is more possible than you might think. You just have to, you're playing with a bunch of anvils. Maybe it's a big anvil army. And Overwhelmed with Dread, you could possibly pick it. Like, let's say you're going to triple charge some unit. You know, and you have no better battle tactics to choose. Like, it's turn 5, you've chosen all the easy ones already, and you're about to triple charge something. Well, then, maybe. Maybe you might, but then it's still a little bit of a risk, but you could do it. And that's kind of where battle tactics should sit, right? Like, at some point, depending on your army, depending on the situation, you might end up choosing one. They can be a lot more loose than grand strategies, so. Anyway, let's see. Death by 1,000 cuts. Complete this tactic if an enemy hero monster is destroyed by attacks made by Chainrasps or Spirit Host. Well, there are situations where you might actually choose this. No. Oh, one stop, no return. When you reveal this battle tactic, pick one objective marker on the battlefield that your opponent controls. You complete it if you control that objective marker at the end of this turn, and there is a black coach within 3 of it. Okay, so if specifically your black coach captures something, you get a battle tactic. Suddenly my mouth has gone dry. Black coach sucks. I know this now. They wouldn't write buy a black coach into a rule like this if it needed any help. If it didn't need any help getting sold. That's my prediction. Ceaseless Nightmares. You complete this tactic if 2 or more terrified enemy units fail battle shock test during the turn. This might actually happen. This is the army and the situation and the day of the week and the time of the year that this could actually maybe happen. Because people aren't allowed to Inspiring Presence within 3 of these guys. However, it still has to be 2 or more terrified enemy units, and that's rare. I don't know about that one. Still, I don't much care about battle tactics or grand strategies. People choose all the automatic ones, and then they have maybe one extra one to choose, and so whatever. Nagash, the Supreme Lord of the Undead. Please have a very different war scroll, I beg of you. 9 moves, 16 wounds, 3 up 10. Has the Gaze, has Alakanash. Bunch of 3s, some 3s and 4s. He's not really here for damage, is he? Oh, really? Still 0 to 6? Oh, yeah, I guess because of this. Alright, a million extra spells. Plus 3 to cast, plus 3 to unbind. So far, I'm not noticing any differences. Yeah, 8 spells a turn. If it's part of a Nighthaunt, Flesh-Eater Courts, Ozir for Soul Blight. It knows all the lore spells, yeah. He is a War Master. He's the General in addition. You can still use the Army's Allegiance abilities, true. And a step power value when you're doing, yeah, alright. 9 books of Nagash. Invocation, start of hero phase. Pick up to 5 different friendly summonable units. For each of those units, you can either heal up to 3 or return up to 3 wounds or less. 4 of ward. If it's a 6, it kicks back, even outside of melee, unchanged. When you use an ability that returns slain models to a friendly death unit, you either reroll the die that determines it, or add 1 to it. Okay, so you could use that 1 artifact up here to return 2 to everything. But that was once a game, right? Alright, checking the tapes. What was this thing called? Ruler? Once per battle, return 1? No, this is the half thing. Where was it? Where was that return 1 to each? Was that an artifact? Here it is. Beacon of Nagashazar. That's the one. Once per battle in your hero phase, you can say the bearer will use the souls. If you do, return 1. And so this would return 2, in other words, with Nagash out. But I sure as fuck would never do that. Okay. Back to the page. Death Magic Incarnate, you can use command ability. Unit that receives this command must be a different friendly dead unit. Add 1 to ward rolls for the unit till the end of that phase. Hand of Deuced. Still has a range of 3. Alright, kills and then Soul Stealer. Alright, this appears to be the same War Scroll. Does he still have Frightful Touch? That would be the companions. Spectral Claws and stuff. Must be a different friendly death unit. Add 1 to ward rolls. Alright, that's actually cool in this army. Because you can get to 5, and so you can get to 4. Does he have Frightful Touch? Let's check. Deathlord's Hero, Monster, Wizard, Nagash. Well, he doesn't appear to have the keywords, so I would say no. Unless they wrote it really goofy, like they did with Lumineth. Nope. Nighthaunt unit. Oh, does he gain the keyword, though? Let's see. Perhaps it says so in his thing. This unit can be included in a Nighthaunt blah blah army. If it is treated as a general. In addition, you can use Army's Allegiance abilities. However, he does not benefit from them. Alright, that's it. Alright, so he cannot use Frightful Touch. If you were asking about the Allegiance ability, Frightful Touch. In the app War Scroll, Frightful Touch is the 6s do mortals thing. His mount lost the mortals, it looks like. Could they do it before? Spectral Claws and Daggers. This is the Broken Realms version. Reminder. So, the Broken Realms version didn't have Frightful Touch on Spectral Claws. Or not the Broken Realms. This is the Battle Scroll Gods and Heroes December 2021 update. No mortal wounds on Spectral Claws and Daggers. And still doesn't have them here. So if you're sad that he lost Frightful Touch, he had already lost it by December 2021. It feels like just yesterday we were looking that over. Yeah, I was disappointed in it. His points went down? Oh, good. Because they should. Where is it? Sometimes you forget, you know? 955 is down. This is... Alright. Alright. I'm surprised if that's what it means to go down in points. Like, he was more than 955 before? Jesus Christ. You know this is too much to ask, but couldn't Games Workshop just give each death army a unique Nagash that might synergize with the army? Yeah, they could do that. They could write a special version for each. That'd actually be very fun. The danger there is it becomes Archaon, where Archaon Tzeentch is overpowered and Archaon everything else is nobody plays it. But that would, if each of them had different Warscrolls, they could individually point them then. Which is kind of neat. But I don't know if they want, like, a Magic the Gathering color cycle of 5 different Nagash Warscrolls floating all over the place. That might be a lot for them to manage. Although it'd be fun to write them up, you know? These are his powers if he is leading a Nighthaunt army. These are the ones that he's leading an OBR army. That would be fun. I'd do it. I'd do it for him. Ahem.
And we take a look at the tail of the tape.
Some of them may be involved with exotic stuff, like dark matter. Some.
An ABC News brief brought to you by Michelob Light Beer. Now from Washington, Sandra Van Oker.
Now from Washington, let's talk to Sandra Van Oger. Alright, we're checking these tapes. You do like Huey Lewis and the... Oh, there you go. Alright. Unit comparison. Zooming in. No, I don't want to use that. Oh dear, please give me dark mode. The absolute vampire. That being said, I'm gonna alt-tab to that thing every time it matters, alright? When we're tape checking. Lady O. 7 wounds, 8-inch move, 4-up save. Staff of Midnight and Spectral Claws, so she is not here for damage, that's for sure. We back. Alright, how about this? How's about this? TY to the Skelebrum for writing this up, and to Leadfoot for the brilliant advice. Big brains all around, this is you. Anyway, we're back. Also get owned by an ad. Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead, no real changes overall, true. Still 955 points. Was he before?
Twitch Prime.
Let's check him. This dude. Nagash. Yep. Alright, so his points actually stayed the same. AFAI, no. Somebody said he went down. That's the only rumor I heard about Nagash, is that his points went down. They did not. Lady O. Staff Midnight does decent damage-ish, I guess. Good reach. Spectre Claws exist. 2 spells and 2 Unbinder. Okay, you have my attention. Double Casty and double Unbindy. She's a War Master, so she's the General always. Cool, good. Alright. You wanted this. I don't know if there's any Nighthaunt players actually in chat, but I kind of wished she was that when I was building lists a million years ago with her and trying to find a way to use her in something. Grave Sands of Time. The unit has a ward of 4 up. Oh. Right this way, madame. Sorry I blew up.
Pop. Yeah.
Alright, big boy. Well, okay. Big lady. Big lady 4-up ward. Lady Demetrishu over here. Holy shit. I like it. And Nagash can make it a 3-up. Which is cool. I like that one. I want the big vampire lady. Alright. No rest for the wicked.
Oh, big.
Orterius, hey, thanks. I appreciate the 500 bits. I know it's Andrew Yell's favorite, so thanks for giving him the Metal Slug 3 meme. Appreciate. But then you gotta run 1300 points and 2 heroes. Yeah, you wouldn't do it. But I'm just thinking about possibilities. I'm just thinking about things you can do. Once per battle at the start of your hero phase, if this unit is on the battlefield, you can return up to d6 slain models to each friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit on the battlefield. Roll separately. Oh, cool. So d6 to each one, +1. Well, actually, you wouldn't go +1. You would re-roll because d6s are mad random. So if you had, I thought I was about to immediately dismiss this Nagash and Lady O. but you return D6 and get to reroll it, and then he returns 3. Alright. She's on a war to 3-up. You have a very small army besides that. So the value of returning a lot of troops is diminished by how many points you're wasting by not playing a bunch of troops. But it's fun to think about. Yeah, bring your daughter to work today. Put Nagash next to Lady O and do the, don't talk to me or my daughter ever again kind of meme. Mortarch of Grief. Roll a die each time an enemy unit issues a command within 12 of it on a 5-up. It's just not received, and it still counts as having been used, and the command point that was spent to issue that command is lost. Well, obviously it would be lost. The only way you can issue a command is by spending one. This is repetitive. When you issue a command, you spend one. It still counts as having been used. Yes, that's how it works. And then the point is lost. Well, it's not lost. You already spent it. I suppose they're rubbing it in. You know what? If you over-explain things 3 times in a row, maybe you get around somebody asking an FAQ question. So fair enough, I guess. 12 inches is a big aura. Big aura for a big lady. Alright, I like her. She does no damage. I don't care. She's a double caster, has cool abilities. 4-up, big girl ward. Lifting the veil. Oh, you don't say. Alright, well, let's find out. At the start of your shooting phase, you can pick one enemy unit within 12 and roll a die on a 2-up. Oh, a 2-up. Thunder Tusk over here. The unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the roll. Oh, nice. Add 1 to the number of mortal wounds the target suffers if it is terrified. Oh, nice. If an enemy models are slain, you can heal up to D3. Yo, she's like the laser... What's that dude in Vampire? The Vampire D Bloodlust? Grove, I think. That ghost dude is just shooting lasers everywhere. And he's like in a hospital bed, like in a coma every time he does. That's her, except hot. Sweet, she has ghost lasers. I'm in. This shit is fun. Grief Stricken is a spell that has a casting value of 7, range of 18. Pick an enemy within range invisible, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit, and add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by a friendly Nighthaunt. Ooh, we're double dipping. +1, -1. Hell yeah. Dude, Lady O is sick. It is a bit of a shame that she's still on 7 wounds. So few wounds. Like 4-up Ethereal, a 4-up ward, which is an incredible ward, but still, 7 wounds is a very small amount. How much do you cost, Lady O? What do you cost? What order is this fucking... Okay. Briar Queen, Black Coach. There we go. Lady Order. Lady O. Mortarch of Grief. 340, huh? Why can't this just be in alphabetical order? Please, Jesus. Anyway. Alright, going back to Lady O. 340, huh? That's a lot. What does she do? Okay. She has a debuff and a force multiplication, save yourself a command point buff spell. D6 mortal wounds. That kind of just happens. Mortarch of Grief ability, which is like it's essentially Roar, except in any phase, and less reliable, but it's, the effect is stronger, right? And she regenerates your stuff, and she has an amazing ward. And double unbindies. Counts as your general. Yeah, I think this is like buff wagon territory, actually. You'd play Ring Around the Rosie with her. You're in Nighthaunt. So Lady O is just, she's chilling. She's like moving around the battlefield, floating like a little StarCraft unit, surrounded by a circle of ghosty boys. So she doesn't want to really get into combat. She just wants to sit there and shoot lasers at stuff, give you a damage bonus, debuff your opponents, fuck with their command points, regenerate stuff, and generally be a nuisance. I don't know if 340 is a lot for her. It feels like a lot because you look at the 7 wounds and you're like, I don't know, right? But might actually be a choice. She seems fun at very least. Lady O is fun. Unsure if competitive at 340. But not because I don't think she is. I just need to see her work on the table, to be honest. I'd play her. And I need to see what the other heroes are trying to do, because those are the spots that are competing with her. Ahem. Next. Oh wait, what's the difference though? Let's compare. Movement improved. Damage went from D3 to 2, which I consider a slight improvement, actually. D3's average is 2, but I would rather it just be something I can rely upon and not get randomly screwed over by. Now Rennig won from Dash, now has War Master, Gravesight to Time, no longer deals mortals to heroes or heals her. Now is only once per battle, returns D6, summonable Nighthaunt units on the battlefield previously within 12, now also at start of hero phase rather than any time during. No longer adds +1 to units lost to battle shock, now can block a command. Yeah, ability's much better. Grief Stricken only changes hit roll bonus, now only for keyword Nighthaunt units, but that's proper. No longer has Wail of the Darned, which was the... What was the Wail? It was another AoE one, wasn't it? What was Wail? Wail, exactly. Start your shooting phase, roll 2d6 for each enemy within 10. If the roll is higher than its bravery, D3 mortals, yeah. Okay, so this used to count everything, now it's just Nighthaunt. I think that's fine, though. You should play with your own toys. You used to have Frightful Touch, now it's in the other thing and slightly worse. Gravesands of Time used to heal her. Now it only damages. Or now it's a 4-up ward. Okay, yeah. 4-up ward versus D6 mortal wounds to an enemy hero within 6 or heal her D6. I'll take the 4-up ward every single fucking time. So much better. So very much better. With 7 wounds on a 4-up, the opportunity for her to just be dead and not get to use this heal is very high. So I'm taking that. I'm taking that 4-up. Okay, so she got a little worse in some ways, and she got way better in one big way. Honestly, maybe 2 ways, because I like War Master as well. She used to double up, right, with casties? Yes. 2 and 2, yeah. Did she used to cost like 220 or something? 240, yeah, okay. So her points went up by 100. I don't think she got 100 points better. But I like her. She is fun, but as I said, unsure if exactly competitive at 340, but I like her and I think she's fun. And I would probably play her, but let's just see what the other heroes are. Reiknor the Grim Heywoah. 14 move, big boy move. 7 wounds, 4-up save. 1 spell, it can fly. Fell her Reaper. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2/2. Okay. Ish. Corpse candles in your hero phase before this unit attempts to cast a spell, you can say that it will snuff out a corpse candle if you do. Pick either this unit or one enemy unit within 12. The unit you picked suffers a mortal wound. If the mortal wound was suffered by an enemy unit, add 1. If it was suffered by you, add 3. Cool. This is actually a fun ability. I like it. I liked it on original guy as well. Grim Justice. Add 1 to hit and wound rolls for attacks made to this unit's Fell Reaper if the target is a priest or a wizard. Okay. Wraith Storm. Casts on a 7, range of 12. Pick 1 enemy unit within range, invisible. Suffers D3. If any models in the unit are slain, unit immediately suffers an additional D3. Ooh, that's fun. I think that used to be what he did, right? Old version. Compare and contrast. Add 1 to hit and wound rolls when attacking a priest or wizard. Oh, this is just a brand new ability? Okay. Lost Frightful Touch and reaped like corn. Wait, that's Kurdoss. Okay, yeah, that is what he used to do. I like the spell. This thing's fun. It lost Frightful Touch, but it kind of didn't because everybody gets Frightful Touch. And it lost Reaped Like Corn. Which was like okay, I guess, but it hits on 3s now, right? Yeah, and it gets 5 attacks instead of 4, so it's sort of like it has Reaped Like Corn. against everybody. Considering it got +1 Ren, +1 to hit, and +1 attack. That's better than rerolling failed hit rolls against units of 5 or greater, to be honest. I think it's actually just a boost in damage. And it affects everything. And then also you get this random thing over here for priests and wizards. He's cool. The fact that he's named probably means I don't want him, even though his spell's kind of neat. But what do you cost? Boy. 190? Oh, good. Okay. That's closer to what I was hoping for. Reiknor feels like the kind of hero you start out the army list writing in there, and then at some point you just remove him for something else, and he never ends up making it in there. Candle change from model to unit. Oh, really? That was another little thing? More wizards running around these days with all those arcane tomes. That is true in Edgelord, yeah. That is true. And with 14 move, if you really do want to get him into combat with something, you won't have a difficult time doing so. So that's true. Reiknor is kind of fun. I like Candle. I like Spell. Ish. What else do I like about this guy? Actually, I like the model. Is that really what I'm gonna say? 190. He's probably not making it in. Kurdoss Valentian. Alright, Special K. What do we got? Sepulchral Sceptra. 2-inch range, 5, 3 and 3, 3, 3. Oh, this is an upgrade. He used to have a mighty bonk stick, if I recall. The dude could bonk. At least for how good stuff was back in the day. Yeah. 3s and 3s, -2 D3. In the olden days, this is like a notable hero weapon. And now it's -3, -3. Upgrade complete. Big flanged mace. Special claws, 6 attacks, 4s and 4s, 1/1. He is, if I cannot rule, none shall rule. At the start of each battle round, after the players have received their starting, you can roll a die. Add 1 to the roll if this unit is within 6 of an enemy hero on a 5-up, subtract 1, and add 1 to yours. Okay, I think that's the same. I think that's the same, right? It was a 5-up as well last time. Yeah, it was also a 5-up. He lost Soul Crushing Smite, but making his weapon -3, 3 is so much better than this fucking trash that it's still a full upgrade. You can reroll failed hit rolls for attacks made with Scepter if the target is an enemy general. I don't fucking care. I'm making the jerk off noise with my hand here. This is... Imagine attacking a general with this fucking guy, ever. And also, like, he's hitting on 2s already. It's fine. Yeah, I consider him better than he used to be. He lost 2 abilities, and I consider him better. 4-up, 7, 6. Perhaps he's worse in some other way. 4-up, 7, 8. Oh, he's faster. Hell yeah. Nice. And he gets +1 to the roll here with the hero thing, and I don't think he used to. Yeah, it's a 4-up if he's actually randomly close to the thing. That's cool. I would never play him before. So, better version of him, would I play him now? Oh, let's see. Because this ability he has is like so weird and potentially oppressive, they probably have to make him too expensive. I like his little bonk stick. 8-inch move is pretty solid. This guy actually kind of slaps. What am I going to cost this guy at? Is this guy a 160? So he's now just King Leoric from Diablo 3? I mean, he always was. He always was King Leoric from Diablo 3. 160 feels like a lot for not a wizard, even though he has good attacks and a neat ability. I think 160 for this guy. That's my final answer. Alright, what do you cost, Kurdoss? 210. Alright, well. Okay. Alright. 210 is a lot. Kurdoss is more fun than ever. That being said, he didn't exist before. And probably still won't at 210. But baby? I mean, I don't know. 210 feels like a lot, but points are the kind of thing that you play with it once and you reconsider. You're right, Grunt9. He should have the totem keyword, because he's a king. He should have the totem keyword, I agree. What's BL? BL is battle line. Awlrach the Drowner. 10-inch move, alright, fast. Flyer. Makes the crossbow battle line if that helps. It does if they're good. It doesn't if they're not. Passage through the underworld. You can use the command ability at the start of your movement phase if you do pick a friendly Nighthaunt. Remove the unit from the battlefield and set it up again on the battlefield more than 9. Then remove that friendly Nighthaunt unit from the battlefield and set it up older than 12 of this unit and more than 9 from enemies. Counts as our move. Oh, he's the boat boss from... He's the boat boss from Elden Ring. From Eldon Wrong. And he looked great. I was a big fan. Bringy Dingy. Version 2.0. Scything Ram. After this unit makes a charge move, 2 up D3 if any models are slain. Add D3 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's Deathwood Owar. Oh shit. 3-inch range is pretty good on it too. 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, -2/3. Alright. He's one of those like teleporty heroes that actually wants to do something afterwards. And maybe almost can. Probably does more damage than the Tibia Mariner. Dude, Tibia Mariner died in like 2 hits. When I was just... It was like the day the game came out and I was fucking around on stream. And I like found that boss and killed her in something like 3 hits. However, it was a great boss. Even though it was very easy because it looked cool. BL is boy love. Oh yeah, I suppose if you're talking about Iraj. Or Irage, pardon me. How much would I pay for this guy? I have no clue. I'm bad at pricing teleports, to be honest. He's got a great move. He's got a bringy dingy ability. He's able to participate in combat, kind of. And 3-inch range is helpful there. You can reach over the people that he just teleported, stuff like that. I don't know what the cost of this guy. But I kind of like him. What do you cost? Awlrach. 175? Okay. Anywhere between 140 and 180 is something that I was just going to say, okay. And then figure out how cramped my army list felt when I was building test lists out of it. Look at keywords for the boatman. Alright, Death, Nighthaunt, Malignant, Grieving Legion, Hero, Totem, Awlrach, the Drowner. What about it? Oh, he's got the totem, which means he has 18 instead of 12. That's good. That's a bonus. I feel like it isn't about how many teleports you want to bring. I feel it's more like, in what way do you wish to acquire your teleport? I think it might end up being one of those. In which case, I think it's cool. I don't mind Awlrach. Awlrach, the Bringy Dingy 2.0. He's do I say repetitive maybe or something like that? Like he's yet another Porterino. But that's not bad. I mean, you have a few different choices for great movement shenanigans in this army, and he is one of those. I think he's a legitimate choice there. Krulghast Cruciator, whomst we've seen. We saw this guy. Phantasmal Torture, it does something. And melee weapons do something. If this unit is within 12 of any terrified units, subtract 1 from the damage inflicted by each successful attack that target a friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12. Play with 5 of these, beat ogres. Alright. Thanks, I hate it. Thanks, I hate it. Also, he's a totem. This dude. Are you going to upload the battle tome to the Discord? It already is. Chris Hammer. It's already there. All the stuff I'm looking at here can be found on the Discord. As of last night, even. The Giga content engineers have been hard at work. I don't know why I'm choosing this guy, really. But it would screw over an army that I play, so there is that. A lot of totems. Krulghast Cruciator. Unless you want to beat exactly me. Totem, though. Lots of totems. Totems are good. Talk about a sideboard card in the main deck if I've ever seen one. Could be really, really good. Or do nothing. And if he had something else, it would sweeten the deal a little bit. I guess Totem is your deal sweetener. Anyway, let's not pretend. Krulghast Silver Bulletator. How about that? Lord Texm Executioner? Could it be that? Oh wait, what's this? Move that. 8-inch 5, 4 up. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2/2. Start of the combat phase, you can pick one enemy unit within 3 of this unit, subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks made by that unit. Oh, nice. Alright. It's got to be within 3, but it's a decent debuff. Unit has a ward of 5 up. Okay, just like a little Chad foot hero moving around for low point games. Or maybe he's the dude who holds on to your buffo artifact because he's slightly harder to kill than normal because he has a 5 up ward instead of a 6. Mayhap. This guy was briefly kind of playable in late first edition, and then he disappeared entirely, and then now maybe somebody tools him out with some toys. Guardian of Souls. Chill Blade. 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1/2. Add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made by friendly melee weapons by friendly Nighthaunt units that are wholly within 12. Awesome. Guardian of Souls continues to be an auto-include in the army. Spectral Lure, pick a friendly summonable unit. You can heal up to D6. Oh, it's the same. Or you can return. Alright, Guardian of Souls. Guardian of Absolute Souls. Guardian of Auto include before, now, and forever. -1 to be wounded. Sorry. Add 1 to wound rolls. I don't know why I keep making those up. +1 to wound. Wait, what's your cost? A 150, of course. Yeah, amazing. The text on the war scroll is like auto-include level amazing, and so of course pretty cheap. Yep, it's simply the best. +1 to wound. Big heal / regen. Cheap. Wizard. Cast on a 6. Range 24 is incredibly long. Now put Guardian of Souls in its own box. Yeah, how about you sell the thing? Knight of Shrouds. This guy on a horseback used to be a really big deal with his +1 to hit thing. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1/2. Stolen Howers. At the end of the combat phase, if any enemy models are slain by attacks made with him, you can heal 1 wound allocated to this unit and add 1 to the wounds characteristic of this wound. Oh, he levels himself up. He gets big. He embigifies now when he kills stuff. And let's compare. Kurdoss. Kurdoss buffed. Kurdoss actually strongly buffed, I would say, from before. Still maybe not worth it, because he's always been way too expensive. But they made him really expensive because they're scared of this ability being toxic, I think. Krulghast Cruciator, Lord Executioner, Guardian of Souls, Knight of Shroud's Foot. Attacks from 4 to 5. Stolen Hours change. Now if the unit slays the model, it heals and gains. Previously was when the wounded unit... Okay. Once per battle round, the unit can issue the redeploy or unleash hell command to a friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit without a command being spent. So just unleash hell or redeploy. Alright. In the combat phase, when you pick this unit to fight, you can pick 1 friendly Nighthaunt summonable within 12. Unit and that Nighthaunt summonable unit can fight 1 after t'other in the order that you choose. This is a cool way to write this. They upgraded their nomenclature for hero guy and his posse like attacking right after each other. This is good nomenclature. That's an improvement. I like it. I just wrote a whole bunch of war scrolls, so I appreciate this. That being said, I don't see ever playing this. What does he do? He does nothing. Yeah, I don't think you do anything. Didn't he used to give you +1 to attacks characteristic of your men? Didn't you used to be somebody? Hold up. Spirit Torment, Chainghast, Lord X, Tomb Banshee, Chainrasps. Because did I skip it? Knight of Shrouds. Oh, it used to be add 1 to hit rolls. It wasn't extra attacks. Yeah, horse was attack, foot was hits. Okay. This was still good back in the day. And then this one is add 1 to attacks. Yeah, this is the one that everyone always played because it was a buff. And people tend to like buffs in their armies, right? Okay, so Knight of Shrouds. Foot. Used to buff hits. Now free CA. But trash. And Shrouds on Horus. Okay, he has the Ambigify ability as well. Lord of Geheists. Once per battle round, the unit can issue all-out attack to a friendly. Okay. Just all-out attack, though. Okay, so that's how they split them up. Instead of +1 to hit and +1 attacks with all weapons, it's redeploy or unleash hell for free, or +1 to hit. So both of them got 10,000% worse. Which is sad, but we've seen this a lot. You know, we went over the Soulblight Gravelord's book. A shitload of their like command abilities got turned from something that was really good into something you thought was really bad, but then we realized as 3rd edition came around, like nobody was getting stuff like that, so it seems worse than it is. In the combat phase, when you pick this unit to fight for the first time, yeah, everybody can fight around them. Am I even taking this guy, though? Depending on how starved I am for command points, I guess it might matter. You're on the Discord. Where can you get the Nighthaunt rules? You can get the Nighthaunt rules in the pins of Giga. And they've been there since last night. Or you can get them on AOS Coach's Discord. And they've been there since last night. 1 picosecond after people saw that they were up somewhere. A whole bunch of people immediately uploaded all this stuff that they've been apparently holding on to. Oh, and not just that, like everywhere. I was actually kind of surprised. Way more people had these images than you might think, as I did some digging. I'm like, a lot of people had this. And they were all just kind of waiting for somebody to accidentally post them on Twitter so that they could unload. And I'm pleased they did. I get to do a show on it then. Alright, am I using either Knight of Shrouds? Maybe, maybe not. Knight of Shrouds Horse. Used to buff attacks. Now free CA, but trash. Tomb Banshee. Can't really read it. Chainrasps. Something about your charge phase. Pick one enemy within 12, add 1 to the roll. If it's terrified on a 4-up, the character must add 1 to the number of command points that are spent to issue commands during that phase. Oh, that's really annoying. Okay. I can't read Tomb Banshee very well, but she sounds incredibly annoying. Wound from 6 to 8, wounds 4 to 5. Range 12, D3 attacks, 3/3. Alright. Lost Frightful Touch. Well, I mean, everybody lost Frightful Touch, but the army gained Frightful Touch, so this is kind of... Was 10, roll 2d6 Bravery, and now at the end of your charge phase, you pick an enemy within 12, roll a die, adding 1 if it's terrified on a 4-up. Add 1 to the number. Yeah, this is annoying. Partial Eclipse instead of Total Eclipse. Alright. Tomb Banshee stonks. Partial Eclipse on a 3 or 4 up. Real good. Real annoying. Not fun. Not fun at all. But potentially very good. Yeah, Total Eclipse of the card, for sure. Potentially really good. Definitely not fun. Let's see. Tomb Banshee. 150, so cheap. Costs nothing. So cheap. And I mean that in both ways. Alright, incredible. You keep mentioning losing Fred. It's not a big deal. I don't mind. Karen Wraith. Enhance. Range 2 inches. See below. 3s and 3s 1, 2. The attack's characteristic of this unit's scythe is equal to the number of enemy models within 3 when the attack is made. It's trash. What a steaming pile of shit. What are you even called? Karen Wraith? I don't care. Wraith. It's trash. Imagine fighting with a tiny hero against hordes with no abilities in this economy. Next. He does nothing. Just nothing. And not only that, not only does he not do anything, but to resolve his do-nothing fucking attacks, you have to sit there and measure how many models are within 3 of him. Which, the amount of time spent, like, figuring out how many stupid attacks he has is wholly wasted. How much does Karen Wraith cost? Negative 50 points? Is he free? There he is. Alright. He costs the same amount. He costs dead ass the same amount as double your command point spending half Eclipse Lady for some shitty ass attacks against massive regiment units that no one plays. God damn. What are you doing? Unbelievable. Anyway, that's fine. Look. Every book is going to have some clunkers in it. Some clunkers are worse than others, but, you know, if he was 3 times better than that, you weren't going to play him, so what does it matter how bad he is? Every time you build a Nighthaunt army, his name is just going to be in a drop-down menu that you are moving your mouse past with the quickness as you click the good stuff to make your Nighthaunt army, so it's not even going to be a problem. Maybe the writer decided they needed to counter Gits. I don't think he even counters Gits. That's the thing. Gits play Kragnos and Trogs for the most part. Or a bunch of meatballs and shit. This dude, let's pretend this guy has 10 attacks. If he piles fully into like a squad of 60 Gits, right? Let's pretend he gets 10 attacks. He's on 4s to hit after the netter. Possibly 5s to hit if something else. He's back to 3 because maybe you're giving him all out attack. And so a 3-up and then a 3-up, I think you hit what? Under 50% of those attacks? Against rend 1 damage 2. So like let's pretend on the high side he kills like 8 Gits maybe. By the end of all this rolling he kills like 8 Gits. And then he's dead. I don't know. I don't think it... You could counter Gits by just like playing a normal good Nighthaunt army, I think. Oh, you know, Frightful Touch might improve it a lot. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. Frightful Touch is a thing. You didn't see the 5 wounds before? Yeah, there's a lot of surprises in here. Look, 8-inch flying is a great move. That's good. Anyway. Spirit Torment. I would like this to be big. 3/3/2/2. Captured soul energy. At the end of the combat phase, pick one friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit wholly within 12. Heal up to 3 wounds allocated, or if no wounds, you can return. Oh, so these guys just do it now. Didn't these guys used to, like, based on the damage you dealt to stuff, it would regenerate? I thought that's how they used to work. Let's compare. What's this guy called again? Spirit Torment. Yeah, there used to be a model slain limitation. I remembered that. It was just annoying to track. And the weird Stormcast interaction was dumb. I know they did it because they were pushing the Soul Wars box, and that was the whole narrative and stuff, but I normally don't like things like that. So these dudes regenerate 3 stuff to your things if they're within 12. Are these a hero? They are technically a hero. Not really fighters exactly. Not really wizards or anything. Depends on how much I want to regenerate my stuff, I guess. It wouldn't be half bad to play like 1 if you wanted any sort of regen. What do you cost, Spirit Torment? Can this be in alphabetical order, please, for the love of God? Spirit Host, there it is, Spirit Torment. Okay, so just, the heroes are just 115 then? Almost no matter what they do, in a sense. They're tiny. In a certain type of Nighthaunt army, I might take 1,000,000 of them. It just might fill out the hero slots. I don't know. Spirit Torments to me are a question mark. I'm not sure how I would play them yet. Alright, streamline the regen ability. Can almost kind of fight-ish, I guess. Maybe play a ton, maybe play none. I just need to see what lists look like. I'm not sure about this guy yet. You kind of pay attacks with the Spirit Torment with the unit below. What, Chainghasts? Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by friendly Nighthaunt, wholly within 12 of any friendly units with this ability, while a friendly Spirit Torment is on the battlefield. Are these things like a summer sale? Like buy one... Are these guys in the same box, or are these separate? Okay. Can you just copy this paragraph, paste it right here, and then make this guy cost 175 or something? Can you just do that? I know this is a summonable unit, but... Same box? Okay, that makes sense. They come in the same box, we're fine. They have Ghast Flails, which are melee attacks, are missile attacks. 2 attacks, 4s and 3s, -1. What's the unit size on these guys, on Chainghasts? Wait, I think I know how GW thinks. Chainghasts are going to be right next to this guy, right? Sphere of Torment? No, they're not. Okay, I don't know how they think. Alright. 2 for no. Oh, a unit size of 2. That's weird. That's weird. 2, huh? For 95. So now you're paying 210 for essentially a little regen and +1 to hit in an aura. Okay. Hats off, sure. One Spirit Torment and 2 Chainghasts is a box. Imagine each model 70 points. Does that make it better? The book is in alphabetical order by unit type. Battle line first, then Behemoth, then Leader, then Untyped, then not a unit. For a total of 4 wounds. What if it was in alphabetical order, though? What if it was just in alphabetical order instead of type order? Maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe everyone else can find stuff on these tables really easily. That could be the case. I might be weird. Do I really want +1 to hit rolls for attacks holding within 12? I think I actually kind of do. I think I kind of do want that. But for 210, I don't know if I want that, when I can just spend a command point on a unit that's fighting. But then again, if we're pushing towards MSU, you really do want this AoE stuff. I'm going to immediately say that in a Chainghasts. Spirit Torment plus Chainghast box. These things are just, I consider them one unit. They're one hero floating around. Mini buff zone synergy thing for 210. A bit expensive. But possibly auto. Especially if MSU. It takes you 0 time, but you're used to books being sorted by type. They have been since the 90s. Oh yeah, I'm used to books being alphabetical. And I can't think of anything nice to say, so I won't. I'm used to books going by words. All right, Chainrasps. These used to be, hold up. These used to be like 5 or something, right? Or 6? These used to be slow as fuck. Maybe I'm crazy. Where's my Chainrasps? Yeah, they used to be 6. Bravery from 6 to 8. Hell yeah. This movement on like small, cheap, chaffy, hoardy battle line stuff is big. They don't do any damage, but I wouldn't expect them to. Add 1 to rune rolls if they made a charge move this turn. Add 1 to the attack characters to the models. Okay, so they're just pure chaff. They have Frightful Touch now, which I don't think they had before. Maybe they did. I don't think they did. I haven't seen a Nighthaunt army on the table across from me in like 2 years. But then again, I haven't played a lot in real life because of COVID, so. The average Chainrasp model does 0 damage, but almost 1, I think, mathematically. They almost deal 1 damage when you take everything else into account. Each. What do you cost? For how many? Chainrasps. Oh yeah, right here at the top. Okay. 110 for 10. This might not be the 20 Chainrasps, 20 Chainrasps, 20 Chainrasps, 20 Chainrasp army anymore. It might just be unlocking battle line and spamming whatever that is. On 25s? No, I think they are actually on 32s, but maybe I'm wrong. I can check the tapes on that. Maybe they are on 25s. I can't remember. Tape checking intensifies. They look really small. This probably is 25. They look really small. Yep, 25 bases. Tapes have been checked. They are on 25s. Chainrasps are still cute. I don't know what they're, so, I mean, it's chaff. Chaff isn't bad. It's a useful thing to have. What do you think on Dreadblade Harrows? Did I go over them already? Did we go over Dreadblade Harrows? I don't think I did. Let's see. Nope, haven't gone over those yet, so I'm not sure, because I haven't looked at them. Myrnmorn Banshees. Alright. Chill Dagger. Attacks from 1 to 2, damage from D3 to 2. Good, I'd get rid of this fucking D3 crap. Just have it be 2. I appreciate this. All of the changes from D3 damage to 2, I approve of. And welcome. They are now an elite unit. Cool. Spell Leader's Overhaul can now unbind a spell or endless spell cast within 12 of the unit. +1 to this roll if Banshees have 3 or more models. No longer buffs their daggers or causes Banshees... Aw, that was a fun little thing. So they're elite now. They can unbind a spell or endless spell cast within 12 of them. And +1 to the roll if they have 3 or more models. And I'm assuming they come in units of 3. Are they battle line? No, okay. Oh, here we go. Myrnmorn. No, they're units of 4. Okay. For 105. Warbear 227. Hey, thanks for the tier 1 gifter. I appreciate it. I hope it lands on somebody nice. What do they do, though? Are they just for damage? They're not battle line. I suppose they have an unbind. That's a useful trick. Although it is just a close range unbind. They're on 4s and 3s. Oh, but they're -2 too. They got that -2 Ren. 2 attacks a model. So it's 10 attacks on 4s and 3s, -2 too. Or no, sorry, unit of 4. It's 8 attacks. So 100 points, 105 for 8 attacks, 4s and 3s. So pretend you have a thing near them or you're using all-out attacks, so they're on 3s and 3s. So 8 turns into maybe 4. And probably one of those auto wounds So the two, maybe 3 saves, which are probably failed. Like 4 damage, something like that. Considering Frightful Touch, like probably 4 damage, I guess, against the 4-up. Possibly even 5. For 105, the ladies are just, they're here for damage, right? Are we spamming these for our damage? Or are we using these or these? Someone who's working on math has to figure it out. Alright, Myrnmorn Banshees. Can these be battle lines somehow? No. Okay. They are fight ladies, not battle line. Have Unbind Areno within 12. Which is like, I mean, what if you have 4 Myrnmorn Banshees right next to Nagash? Will they get to, can they unbind all 8? I don't think I saw a restriction. Can they just unbind all 8 of those? And by that I mean fail to unbind every one, but at least they can get to try. Yeah, each time an enemy wizard successfully. Okay, it seems like they can just consistently try to do it. I like that they can even try. Unlimited tries at the Wheel of Value. Rend is good. Super fragile. 8-inch move is good. Do math. Figure out if worth. Feels like a unit just for the utility. Can be decent. Missing units in Giga pinned and recent. Thanks, Saturni Rose, and or whoever did that. Dreadscythe Herridans. Oh, these are the 4-armed ladies. Imagine the next destruction tomes are Sons of Behemoth and a special one for Gragnos. I would feel pretty bad for Gits, and I don't play Gits. I would feel bad for the old Gits. As far as the next Ogre tome is concerned, they can take as long as they want to make it, as long as it's good. I'm willing to wait. I'll wait. You skip Bladegheist, did I? I did, good call. These are the dudes with the big 2-handed swords, the ones that look the coolest, way cooler than Grimghast Reapers in my IMO. 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1/1, not an impressive profile. Add 1 attacks characteristic units, Great Blades if this unit made a charge roll. Ooh, okay, cool. Synergizes with retreat and charge, I like that. They used to be able to retreat and charge, and everyone got that, so they became relatively way worse. Without getting much in exchange. Bladegheist Revs, mega nerfed, kind of. Inside out nerfed by their cool thing being given to everyone. Bladegheist, since everyone can now treat and charge, they are no longer special in any way. And probably not worth. One-inch reach, only 1 rend, only 1 damage. +1 to attacks characteristic is good, like, +1 attacks on the charge is good. with Battle Trait, since you're retreating and charging all the time, but they could do that before. They did get faster, but I think everything just got faster. What do you cost? Bladegheist Revenants? Ideally, your points went down since everyone else in your book just got your special toy. You are Battleline in the Scarlet Doom army. 175 for 10. That's a lot. Feels like a lot. 175 for 10. Don't forget impact hits and Battleline in the thing. Yeah, I won't. Argur. Because, like, if you're playing Scarlet Doom, that's the only place you would ever consider Bladegeists. I think that's just sort of the thing, right? They used to be 190. Don't forget the retreat and charge with impact. Hey, in my defense, I said that 3 minutes ago. Chat delay isn't that long. And then I was reminded by Argur. It's still landing? Oh, maybe the chat delay is that long. BL in sub. Scarlet Doom spam. Maybe. You wrote that 3 minutes ago? Okay, fair enough. What's next? Now we get to Dreadscythe Herridans. Scythed Limbs, 4 attacks, 4s and 4s, 0-1. Murderous, Bloodlust, add 1 to hit and wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons of these units and 6 of an enemy model that have any wounds allocated to them or is within 6 of that have any models slain in that turn. Oh, just in that turn, though. Why not, you know, lower than just having suffered a casualty ever, right? I guess it's got to be recent. Subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks made by enemies within 3 of this unit that made a charge. If this unit made a charge move in the same turn. So Dreadscythe Herridans are, you charge in and maybe give them -1 to hit. And now you have charged, and so you're giving them -1 to wound also. And then you have 4 attacks on 3s and 3s with no rend. A model. Instead of 3 attacks on 3s and 3s always instead of 3s and 3s usually. Or maybe even just sometimes. And it's still just 1 damage at the end of it. And yeah, it's a little here. Why don't I just... I think I just want Bladegheist Revenants. What do you get, Dreadscythe Herridans? You get them battle line in which one, and what does it do? Remind me. This one, right? Yeah. Ward rolls cannot be made for wounds caused by attacks made with melee weapons by friendly Quicksilver Dreads. Okay, yeah. You can't make ward rolls. But they have no rend on their weapons. You don't have to care about ward rolls. I don't think. Yeah, I feel like I like Bladegeists more than Herridans here. Maybe I'm being immediately judgmental, but that's the whole point of a reaction to a book, right? You're getting my 1 second haven't seen it before take. If I think about it for a day, I'll probably have more intelligent stuff. Herridans seem kind of worse than Bladegheist. And in a worse subfaction. BL though. Like, getting them on 3s and 3s is actually kind of, like, maybe not going to happen. And something like this needs to really always happen, I think. Don't forget weight of dice. Yeah, I mean, you're attacking 40 times. Versus 30 times over here. Well, okay, you're not attacking 40 times. Sometimes you are. Sometimes you're attacking 40 times. They have 32 mil bases, so perfect mathematical land you are, but otherwise, no. All your attack men are on 32s as far as I recall. Where are Grimghast Reapers? Those should be next. Is this a missing? Is this one I need to find in Giga? It probably is. Let's check. Here we go. Grimghast Reaper. Bring her up. Okay. Because right now we're talking about the hammers in the army. So let's bring them in. Slasher Scythe. 4s and 3s. A 2-inch range. That's what I like to see. This is so the identity for Grimghast Reapers is these are the big units. These are the units that are large. So like that's their shtick. The job here is they have 2-inch reach, so you want these are the big unit ones. Add 1 tax characteristic if there are 5 or more models in the target unit. Damn, I was hoping that would get changed to something else. But fair. Alright, so maybe 3 attacks a model. Not against the units you probably wanted on the most, but are you really sending these guys against heroes? Maybe. And then the Death Bell. Okay, what do you cost though? GGR 160. You are cheaper than Bladegheist Revenants. Why? Because you hit on 4s, I guess. If you put them base to base in the right way, 1-inch reach hits the first rank. Yes, correct. Yeah. Yeah, if you're fighting an opponent and they're in a straight line and you get to charge in and you put them exactly perfectly, you can hit the first rank. Or both ranks, I mean. If your opponent is like playing Yetis and stuff and randomly piling into the very corner of your shit, or, you know, maneuvering around, or there's terrain, or fighting on top of something, or on a wildwood, or near somebody else, or you don't want to pull that other thing into combat, then considerably fewer of them. But, so Grimghast are 160, Bladegheist are 175, and Herridans are also 160. Okay, so 160, 160, 175. Why are Bladegheist 15 more than Grimghast Reapers? Because Bladegheist are 1-inch. They get +1 attack if they have charged, which is the easiest extra attack thing to turn on. But they're just on 3s and 3s 1-1. Grimghast are on 4s and 3s 1-1 with an ability to increase. So I guess it's just because they hit on 4s, they get a 15-point discount, but range of 2 inches. You think Bladegheist are missing a damage? I mean, I play ogres, so every single unit I'm looking at, I'm like, really? Just 1 damage? You're supposed to, I guess... Am I being pulled in the wrong direction? What do you think, chat? So, I see this 2-inch reach here, and I immediately think this is the unit that you're supposed to reinforce. And if you're trying to reinforce stuff, you play Grimghast Reapers, and if you're not trying to reinforce stuff, you play MSU something else. Am I being too quick to put them into a certain box? Like, this is the big unit box, and if you want to play big units, you play them, and if you don't, you just don't. I don't know. $175 is a lot, though. Anyway, it's my gut reaction. Grimghast, 2-inch reach means big units. With most of the rest of the army's mechanics obliging you to go MSU instead. In addition, core rules of AOS pushing you very hard in MSU as well. Somehow somehow 15 more than both the other ones. Oh yeah, MSU is minimum sized unit. People probably wouldn't immediately intrinsically know that. So apologies for using terms. Only thing GDR don't compare to Herridan or Bladegheist is the sub-faction stuff. Yeah, do they have a sub... Maybe it's because they don't have a sub-faction thing. Maybe that's it. There's no Grimghast sub-faction. So... maybe that's the thing? Our Grimghast battle line? Formerly... well, it doesn't matter formally. Let's see. Yes, they are. And whereas these are conditional battle line. And they used to be the best shit. They used to be the best. Natty BL still. There was a time where people were playing Nagash and 60 Grimghast Reapers and doing all right in tournaments with it. There was a time when these were the best things since sliced bread. In a vacuum, which of these are choosing? Well, I feel like it's not Herridans. And whichever one between these two you choose, you're just like playing differently. I used to be hot shit, Sonny. Yeah. I'm not going to give you the arrow to a leg meme, but I was thinking about it. Let's see. Any other Giga stuff I'm missing? Let me check. No, it's just that one. Dreadblade Harrow. Oh yeah, Dreadblade Harrow. Let's check it out. This is an important. This is a hero. This is, if you played a Nighthaunt army before, this was your general for the longest time. Because he teleport man. Let's see what he do now. At the end of your movement phase, you can remove this unit from the battlefield and set it up on the battlefield more than 1 from all terrain features and objectives and more than 9 from all enemy units. Okay. You still teleport. Once per battle round, if your general issues a command, this unit can have the same command in the same phase without a command point being spent. If it does, it must be received by night. Cool. This guy is still highly worth playing, I think. Dreadblade Harrow is still a Chad. What is his point? Cost? 145. Alright. Yeah, this guy... Can you say Synapse node? Chadblade. Hello. Still auto. Synapse node. Mr. Synergy. Utility. Welcome back, old friend. Ahem. Next. Alright, that guy's cool. Is it time? It might be time. We're running out of, like, we're getting to, like, shooter boys, Glaivewraith Stalkers, stuff like that. I think it's time. Show me. The thing I've successfully not looked at yet. Gimme. Enhance. The Black Coach. I snuck ahead and noticed that it didn't have the hero keyword, so I'm automatically disappointed. It has Totem, which is good. Let's read on. Oh, and its points went up by a bajillion. What is this? A gorillion points? Hold up. 335. Okay. Please keep in mind that this thing is hundreds of points more. Well, okay. Comfortably more than 100 more than stuff like Chaos War Shrine. And so this, if this thing is going to be a buff wagon at 335, it better be a good one. Am I hyping it up too much? Am I setting myself up for failure? Alright, here we go. 10-inch move, flying. 12 wounds, 4-up save. Black Coach. Soul Reach Grass, 12 inches, D3, 4s and 3s, -2/2. Okay, so a pepper that maybe one hits. One of the following weapon options. Grasp or Scythe. Okay, so you can either have this and this, or you can have Scythe. So either you get 1 attack in combat, 4s and 3s, 2/2, and then D3 at range, 4s and 3s, 2/2, or you can have Scythe, which is 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, Oh, okay. Alright. And then it has Spectral Claws, which is 9 attacks. Hey, at least they have a rend. And then Hoofs and Teeth, of which 2 will... Alright, 4 will miss, 2 will fail to wound. They will pass both saves, and nothing will happen. 2 heroes riding this thing, not a hero. Yeah. Yeah. Evocation of Death. When this unit is set up for the first time, place a d6 beside it with the 1 facing up. Oh. Please, I'm suffering. I don't wanna do this. It's too hard. I'm already bored. Alright. Fine, I'll put a stupid die next to it and level it up and jank-a-rooney. Alright, each time an enemy model is slain or flees within 12 of it, fiddle around with your stupid die by the side of the thing, count up to 6. If the value of the die beside the unit is 5 or 6, the unit has a ward of 4 up instead of 5 up. Okay. Once per turn in your shooting phase, if the value of the die beside this unit is 6, you can say that the unit will unleash its stored necromantic energy. If you do so, pick one enemy unit within 12 of this unit and roll a die. On a 2-up, the enemy unit suffers 3d3 mortal wounds, then change the value of the die back to 1. Fucking... When you read this ability, you have to, like, rap God it. This is so complicated for doing nothing. It doesn't do nothing. I'm overly critical of this, but, like, there was just a way simpler, more elegant, streamlined way of sometimes giving this thing a 4-up and shooting a laser at someone. So this is crunchy, chunky, waste of timey. Anyway, insubstantial form, ward of 5-up. Nimbus of Power, instead of picking this unit to make a normal move. Wait, how do you get this again? Each time an enemy model is slain or flees within 12? Okay. So you have to be, like, kind of winning, and then the thing gets better after that. I would rather win right away. Instead of picking this unit to make a normal move or retreat, you can say it will travel the underworlds to a new location. Oh, it teleport. Hey, alright, good. You can, this thing can just teleport. That's strong. That's a good ability. They suffered 3d3, then you reset to 1? Yes. When someone plays this magic card and you just let them do whatever because you ain't trying to read that? Yeah, kinda. What's the order of this? It works in the way that you don't want it to, Curly Joe. On a 2-up, the enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. So it, like, suffers them. Things happen, there's a casualty, you remove them, they're dead. Then you change the value of the die back to 1. It works in the bad way, unfortunately. Unless there's an FAQ and there's a designer's note and they just say ignore that and do it the cooler way. They could write that, I guess, but Runaway Coach. After this unit makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy unit within one of it on a 2-up, it's D3. This shit is like not worth 335. What are you again? Hold up. 335, huh? You have a 5-up ward, unimpressive attacks. You are a totem, but not a hero. You can teleport, which is very good. I won't make fun of you because you have a teleport every turn. That's very good. You have a mechanically annoying to resolve and keep track of slightly better ward / laser blast. But this thing feels so far from 335, it's comical. Sorry, I hit the mic in my anger. I'm not actually angry, I just accidentally hit the mic. Then I felt like saying that. Black Coach. Does Totem let it issue commands? Yes. Totem is a good thing. That is one of its goods. Okay, so I'm sad. Moving on. It's basically a hero except without hero actions, without traits, without artifacts. And the ability to be put into a battalion as a hero. So it can issue commands, but what people usually really want with heroes is heroic actions, artifacts, traits, the ability to be a general, and getting put into battalions. But Totem is good. Totem is not bad. It is a good thing. You know who else has Totem? The Rogue Idol. True, the Rogue Idol does have a Totem. Craventhrone Guard. A crossbow shoot with 4s and 4s 1/1, range 12. 1 in every 5 can be a sepulchral, spectral standard bearer. If it receives the rally command, well, it includes any standard bearers, then you roll a die for a slain model, and you can return one on a 5-up instead of a 6. Okay. We getting rallied. Spectral Bolts. Unit can target enemy units with shooting attacks even if the target is not visible. In addition, enemy units targeted by shooting attacks made by this unit do not receive the benefit of cover for the shooting attacks. What's cover? Must be an old rule. A wicked sidearm. Hey, he's got a wicked sidearm. The Craventhrone. Nice. So this is a unit of 5. They get 10 attacks. 10 attacks turning into 5, turning into 2.5, turning into 1.5. Like a damage per shooting phase against something. The auto wounds do trigger on shooting attacks. Ooh, alright, let's check the tapes. Let's check the tape. I believe you. Friendly Nighthaunt unit. No melee. No melee detected. Nice. Actually nice. Do you? Yes. However, trust but verify. That's the modus operandi over here. Okay, Craventhrone Guard. You have a shooting. You have a shoot. A death army with, what, 2 shooting units now? Holy shit. Or 1 proper shooting unit, I guess. Yeah, Wave of Terror Stun doesn't help them, true. What do you cost, Craventhrone Guard? And what are you even? You are 115 for 5. Battle line if Kurdoss Valentian is part of your army. Let's go. Alright, Kurdoss. Crossbow spam. Let's go. The one true king. 5 full wounds for 150 points. Kurdoss synergy. Alright, so 115 points for 5 entire wounds on a 4-up. Now, yeah, they're ethereal, but Knight of Shrouds on foot with crossbows, free Unleash Hell, yeah, you'll do 1 damage with that. Okay. Craventhrone Guard. 115 points for 5 wounds. Sometimes shooting units can sneak up on you and be much better than you initially think. This is not one of those times. Alright, Glaivewraith Stalkers. Can we ambigify this a little? Enhance. Alright, there we go. These are the Skaven Skull, horse head looking dudes. 1 attack, 4s and 3s, 1/2. Oh, holy shit. Do I detect a damage characteristic of more than 1 for a single troop unit in this entire army? And you had my attention, and now you have my interest. Please be good. Oh wait, 1 attack a model. Womp womp. +1 the charge rolls for the drummer. At the start of your first hero phase, if this unit is on the battlefield, it can pick 1 enemy to be its prey. After this unit makes a normal move, if this unit finishes that move closer to it, add 3 to charge. 3 to charge rolls? Damn. +3 to charge rolls is a serious bonus. But these are seriously bad. Glaivewraith Stalkers? Are they battle line? No. 105 for 4. It's only a normal move. Next. +45 points over the old unit. Yeah. Alright, Spirit Hosts. These guys are, I mean, they're old. Maybe they're looking a little weird nowadays, but you had some cool tricks to play with these every once in a while over the many years of Nighthaunt. Six attacks, 4s and 4s, no rend, 1 damage, but it doesn't matter because they have, well, they had Frightful Touch, and that's what you were going. Didn't they used to have more than 6 attacks? They either had 6 or 9 before. Yeah, 3 wounds each. You used to play that, like, command trait thing that brought them back, and then the Black Coach used to bring them back. Was it 6? Okay. They are elite. Oh boy, nice. Drawn to War. Before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to a friendly Nighthaunt hero, instead of making a ward roll for a wound or mortal wound that would be allocated to that hero, if any friendly units with this ability are within 3 of that hero, you can roll a die on a 3-up. Wound or mortal wound is allocated to a friendly unit with this ability instead of that hero and cannot be negated. Okay. These are your bodyguards, huh? Weird. They went from being your most offensive unit almost, with a bunch of regen, to being your bodyguard. I wonder if Hexwraiths get a similar thing. You get like a shitload of attacks that can auto wound. No Ren though. These are the units that are hurt the hardest. They're suffering the most under the purge of mortal wounds from this whole army. What do you cost to give your hero 9 extra wounds and essentially, like, shit-ass damage? What do you cost for that? Spirit Wraiths. Where would you be? We know Spirit Host, not Spirit Wraith, right? Yeah, Spirit Hosts. Oh, 125. It's 9 extra wounds on a 3-up. Oh, true. Yeah, right. So it's like 6 extra wounds. Generic battle line too. Spirit hosts are actually cool. Spirit hosts are cool. Different by a lot than before. Used to be mortal wound fishers with reanimate synergies. Now, ahem. You could do something with these things. They could do something. Unless the thing you want to do is damage. They can't do that, but they can do something. Very interesting. All right, Hexwraiths are the horsey boys. Your mobile anvils of old. 2 wounds apiece, 4 up. Looks like their size got better, I think. But do be a battle line unit with 1 damage per 125 points. Yeah, but not everything's about damage, right? Sometimes a thing's job just has nothing to do with damage, and yet it's still very good. It depends. It depends on what your strategy is and what the thing's job is supposed to be. X-rays are also battle line. 160 now for 5. At the start of your movement phase, you can say this unit will perform a phantasmal advance if you do double its move characteristic until the end of that phase, but this unit cannot charge in the same turn.
Pop? Yeah.
Double its move, huh? 24. The casual 24-inch move. Flying. Alright. I mean, it can't charge, but I actually don't care. You know? Oh, turn 1, I want to be by this objective or whatever. Oh, I just am. Easy. I'm gonna fly here and land like exactly in this stupid house that you can't see me from, and I'm technically on the objective. How big of a unit can this be? 15? 15 Hexwraiths. So you start the game. You have your unit of 15 Hexwraiths, right? You cast where is it? Here. You cast Shield of Shyish on it. You cast Shade Mist on it. Have it move 24, 3 away from your opponent's deployment zone in a line. And then you stand on objectives with the rest of your castle. And your opponent just simply has to, like, stand there and kill them. Now, if your opponent flies too, you know, okay, there's plenty an opponent could do about this, but I'm just talking about, like, as a basic, you know, day one, what if this even worked strategy. Like 30 ethereal wounds on a 4-up, just kind of standing there. And your opponent is trapped in the deployment zone. It's kind of funny. Alpha block is back on the menu. That being said, even just a unit of these are highly useful. I actually like them. What are they again? 160. Yeah, Hexwraiths. Fun. Alpha block. Possibility. Not fun for the opponent. Double movies. What's the second rule they have? When it charges on a 2-up, D3 mortal wounds. Just a little impact hit. Just a little tap, reminding them where you are. Just a little tap. Oh, okay. We haven't seen the battalions, but I don't think that's going to change very much. It's like, are you 1-drop or not, for the most part? And the answer is probably they'll figure out a way to do it. Oh yeah, you're right, Casto. It's per unit. And so why would you use a unit of 15 when you could just use 3 units of 5? It's the same thing. And you satisfy all your battle line requirements in doing so. And you triple your number of impact hits. So it's like there's no downside almost. I guess the downside is then, you know, if it's a unit of 15, you're getting your full, like, you know, here's your 5-up ward, here's your, you know, -1 to get wounded thing. Like, you only have to choose one of those units then. I guess that's the downside, but we don't know for certain if they even have battalions. Fire Slayers and IDK didn't. Oh, well, okay. Even if they don't, I don't think it's like a huge deal. Battalions used to be a really big deal. They would make or break your entire army, almost. Nowadays, everyone just kind of gets stuff. Shyish Reaper. Oh, this is, and we're going to determine if the one thing is good, right? Midnight Tome. Like, if these are good, then maybe Midnight Tome is good. Shyish Reaper. Spells are summoned with a 6 and a range of 6. Set this up wholly within range, invisible to the caster, and more than 1 from all models and other endless spells or invocations. Endless spell is a predatory 1, and it can move up to 8 and can fly. Before moving it, you can pivot it, but it has to move in a straight line. When you move it, it must move in a straight line in the direction the tip the blade is pointing. Okay. Soul Reaper. After this endless spell has moved, roll 2 dice for each unit that passed across it, including models it moved over when it pivoted. And each other unit that is within 1 at the end of the move. Okay, it's one of those. It's the move over and at the end of the move ones. Add 1 to the roll if the unit is terrified. For each roll that is greater than or equal to the unit's save characteristic, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Okay, so it's punishing high armor guys, which are hot right now, as it happens. Okay. What would you pay for this, chat? If we're gonna price an endless spell, what would you pay for this? 20? If I built an army that somehow had 20 leftover points, I might take the Triumph, actually. I might take the Triumph. Yeah, to be honest, any points value for this thing is worse than trying to get the Triumph, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't, maybe barely worth 20 or something like that, but it's just not a very useful type of thing. At least they're rewarding you with mortal wounds against high armor guys. They have printed spells that don't. So that's a plus. What do you actually cost, Shyish Reaper? 70. No. Absolutely, positively not. No. Amazing. It's impressive, almost. Yeah, hey, it makes an awesome kit bash. Give your big dude a scythe. That's what it's for. It's not for playing. Mortalis Terminexus. It summons on a 6 and has a range of 12. It is predatory. It can move up to 8 and can fly. Keeper of Mortality. After the endless spell has moved, the player who moved it can decide whether the Mortalis Terminexus will reverse time or hasten time. I'm going to pause here and not read the rest. If you're talking about slowing down time and speeding up time, this activates the neurons, all right? Monkey neurons. I'm interested in speeding up and slowing down time. Time powers are always overpowered. They just are. If they choose to reverse time, heal D3. Okay. If they choose to hasten time, roll a die for each unit within 6 of this endless spell, and a 2-up, it suffers D3. Oh. Okay. Heals everything in 3, even your opponent's guys. And it damages everything within 6. Even your guys. It is better than the Reaper, I think. Because you send this out, it's possible you can hit 2 enemy units with it, you know? And then roll a 2-up twice and deal D3. 12 plus 8. It's slightly under 20-inch range. 20-inch range, possibly 2d6 or 2d3 mortal wounds. Maybe even hit 3 units with it if you're really, really lucky. Or your opponent is just like full-on Council of Wizards Death Star or something like that. I suppose you could hit like 5, but... yeah, you know what? I would take this for 20. Like I said 20 on this thing, but I wouldn't take it. I'd do 20 on this, and I would take it. I would take this over the Triumph, maybe. If I was like 1980 and I felt like I wasn't going to get the Triumph anyway. You can whip this thing 20 inches, and against a lot of opponents who put all their heroes right next to each other, you could do some stuff. Sometime, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to go to bat for this thing. Mortalis Terminexus. 85. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. The answer is no. 85. Yeah. Okay. Finally, Vault of Souls. Do you think all endless spells should cost 20? I don't think endless spells should cost points. Every endless spell should be entirely from the ground up redesigned and rewritten with a wholly fresh brand new take on them, and they probably shouldn't cost any points and should be balanced around that, I think, or something. I mean, it's just like you get spells in your army for free, right? Like, you get a spell lore. Okay, let's go to the spell lore section real quick. You don't pay points for these spells, right? These here, you don't pay any points for these. Seal Shyish is so much better than either of these endless spells. It's actually insane. And this shit's free. And they want you to pay 70 points for that other one. What? Shade Mist, better. Spectral Tether, better. Even Soul Cage, probably better. Like, your free spells are orders of magnitude superior to this shit that they want you to spend points on. So here you have something that costs points and is way worse than something you're getting for free. I think the idea is cool. Like, you have, and you cast a spell and it sticks around. Now it's a model, flavorful, fun. You're looking at it on the table. The shit's moving around. It has a long-lasting effect. I just feel like saying the thing does D3 mortal wounds and copy-pasting it 37 times is the laziest, poorly thought out, do-nothing way of taking that like concept and making it fun and useful in the game. I just don't think D3 mortal wounds a turn is particularly exciting, and a general waste of all of these cool sculpts and the neat idea of a spell sticking around. Damaging spells, for the most part in this game, are just bad. Because someone somewhere decided that D3 was impressive for an amount of damage. And I don't know who thought that, but they wrong. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Mr. Mephisto. TY for the tier 1. 25 months? Holy shit. You've been subscribed for more months than Diablo has been out for years. Although it's kind of close. Big leaks and big analysis. Hey. That's what we're here for. TY for the sub. Please enjoy my sub. As we exchange subs and essentially both just lose money every time. But number go up. And I appreciate that one as well. Exception is Giga Chad mage spam armies. Yeah. Every once in a while you get a damaging spell that's actually decent, right? But it's rare in general. Vault of Souls. It is summoned on a 6 and a range of 6. Only Nighthaunt wizards can attempt to summon the endless spell. Actually, you know what I'd do? It'd be like one of those team building exercises with the coach who's got weird ideas about team building and then like gets investigated later and gets fired because he was actually just being cruel, but if he made a movie about it, he'd be the hero. It'd be like one of those where it's not even good. I'd lock all the rules writers in a room and I'd tell them, okay, you need to rewrite all the endless spells in the whole game, and you are forbidden from making any of them do damage in any way. Absolutely forbidden. None of them can do damage. Just that shouldn't even cross your mind. And now write them. And then I would take all of the endless spells that they have written under those restrictions, you know, where they're not allowed to do any damage. And I would, in front of them, not even read them and just throw them away. And I'd be like, great work. Now, do it again. And then that time, I would read them. And then later I would compare and contrast. And whoever, I would take it out of the trash secretly and compare those two. And whichever rules writer just wrote what they had already wrote last time, I wouldn't fire. Anyway, Vault of Souls. I don't know what this RP is coming from. If successfully cast, set up this endless spell wholly within the range invisible. Yeah, 6. And then it's predatory, 8, and can fly. Soul Eruption. After this endless spell has moved, roll a die for each model within 6 of it. Add 1 to the roll if that model's unit is terrified. Okay. On a 6 up. Ugh. Do I even need to keep reading? Oh, like it's bad, right? Okay, so maybe on a 5 up if it's terrified. The model's unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Keep track of the number of mortal wounds caused by this endless spell if the total is 10 or more. All right, if we have got one of those 3,000 point games, you've decided between you and your opponent that you would not cap it at 5 turns, it would cap at 15 turns. Roll a die for each unit within 6 of it. Add 1 to the roll if the unit is on a 2 up. The unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the roll. Then this endless spell is dispelled. Yeah, okay, can't win too hard. What a piece of trash. What? It's trash. It's so bad, this thing. Look at all these words, when what you really meant was nothing. This thing, if you took it, shall refund you points. Like, you can play a 2050 army if you take this thing. I just want to laugh. I wish to laugh. What do you cost? Vault of Souls. 85. Oh no. Oh no. Awesome. Hey, great work. Great work. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I disagree. Long story short, I disagree. So, what I can say is that the Midnight Tome is very strongly not Johnny Fun. Wait, I need to check the tapes. Is it only Nighthaunt endless spells, or can we get like a spell portal out of this thing? Let's check the tapes. Okay, it's not only Nighthaunt ones. It's any endless spell. So you can look outwards. You can summon some other endless spell. So that's important. That's important. For Nighthaunt. Endless spells. So, you know, spell portal, what is this once a game? Yeah, just no. Yeah, Vault of Souls is against each model. So like 20 models in it, you roll 20 dice. But man, if you want to kill a whole bunch of 1 wound guys, like 60 of them, the way you do it is not by paying 85 points to deal like fucking 10 mortal wounds or something with a spell once a game. You crash your big monster into it and it does 1,000,000 damage that you're already playing, right? Like you just put your hammer into it. Generally, if you're going to pay for like high quality of damage, and I'm talking like mortal wounds or Ren 3 or something, that's good against elite targets. And then what you want against hordes and stuff is a high quantity of damage. And so when you have a endless spell that's designed for a low quantity of high quality damage, that's only good against hordes, it's sort of like I'm paying for premium damage and I'm getting a low quantity of damage against a thing that I just want a high quantity of low quality damage. Hats off, sure. You think the worst part about these is that they do some damage, but for what? 40 more points, you can bring a model that also controls objectives and doesn't need a babysitter and doesn't need to be summoned and can't be unbound and can't be dispelled and the roll can't fail. Yes, all of that stuff, yeah. Yeah, that's all of that stuff and more, yeah. Unless their opponent is ogres. If their opponent is ogres, the number of models that will be around Vault of Souls is 1, and it will be a Stonehorn, and this thing will do nothing. Although maybe in the future, people will be playing Gutbusters besides Iron Blaster stuff, right? And hoping to get lucky with them D6s. Mike Scarborough, hey, first time chatter. You haven't played Age of Sigmar or Endless Spells a key part of the game, or can you just play without them? You can totally ignore them for the most part. They were like a really cool idea, but then for the most part, their mechanics and rules are kind of janky, and they're 99% really bad, and no one ever plays with them. So you could play at the local store for probably a month, once a week, and never see an endless spell. You can go to a tournament and be playing a game at the tournament and look left and look right and not every round for 5 rounds and not see an endless spell. It's, you know, it's not necessarily a big part of the game. It would be cool if it was. I think they're a cool idea, and a lot of their models look very nice and like interesting, and you know, but the implementation of it just kind of fell flat, unfortunately. And we're kind of waiting for that to get fixed. Yeah, you may see one spell portal, but I think that's all in the entire game. Anyway, final thoughts on Nighthaunt after seeing it a single time. Immediate instant reaction. The battle traits are much improved. and I think more fun. Retreat and charge is really fun. It's going to be very technical and tactical, very tricky, a lot of shenanigans. That's how they were before, though. Did their 32 mil dudes get 2-inch range? Only Reapers. Everybody else, no. If you want to reinforce anything in the whole army, you're playing Grimghast Reapers or you're going MSU, I think. Emerald Host seems fun. Frightful Touch is kind of weird. I think your damages are really low. Damage is pretty low. People who played Nighthaunt extremely technically before are going to have to do so very differently now. Is the army good or not? I don't know. I need to see it play out. It seems like a finesse army, in which case it's probably safe to say that it is good. It's just you might have to play in a way you don't feel like. It might also take forever to play it, because it's MSU, it's a bunch of little units. Every single turn you're retreating and charging. You're moving 10, you're moving 10, you're moving 10, you're moving 10. You're teleporting this, you're teleporting that, you're picking stuff up, putting it back down. You don't have big squads, but you still have like 100 guys, maybe more. So it might like physically take you a long time to play. But that can be improved with experience, right? Are they not bad at least? Oh, they're not bad, no. I don't think so at all. If your requirement was that they were better than they used to be, or even that they're not bad, yeah, they exceed that easily. Some of this shit is hot, actually. I can't tell you like a tier list or anything. I need to see a lot of this stuff play out, but having read the whole book, it doesn't do as much damage, or maybe the damage that I like to see, because I'm a destruction player, isn't jumping out at the page from to me, right? But that doesn't mean that the book isn't good. I'm just talking about my personal tastes, right? So, yeah, this seems good. And it seems real tricky. And if you are a Nighthaunt player, or if you are one of the millions of people in the world who own a Soul Wars box in their closet that has been collecting dust for 3 years, because you think Nighthaunt look cool, but you never really put them together because they've always sucked, well, congratulations. You can play them. Also, your spells are the thing that... I think your spells are really the thing that's going to bring everything together here. I like the Emerald Host a lot. I would be playing the Emerald Host, I think. I think I'm an Emerald Host boy, I think. I like choosing stuff and killing it. Because you're going to need that specific targeted get rid of your stuff, dudes. Maybe upper mid with good play. I don't know. I need to see people's lists. I'd like to play against it. It's, you know, I essentially skimmed over and read the whole book one time. And I haven't seen like maybe 1 or 2 Warscrolls in the battalions. I can't tell you a tier. But it's got game. And I like Lady O. Alright. Alright, chat. Thanks for being here for it. I appreciate it. Please look forward to Monday's show, where maybe I build a list or two. Maybe we're list building. Also, the way these leaks are going, holy shit. Monday, we're probably going to see the entire Slaves to Darkness book. I don't know. I mean, how many other shoes have dropped, right? Anyway, should be interesting. Tomorrow's probably waifu weekend, but I might just work on a YouTube video instead. Keep you posted in Discord. Hey, join discord.gg/Heywoah if you wish. Anyway, TY for watching. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. I appreciate it. I'm going to deposit you in some other Warhammer stream, probably, if I can find one that's in English. Thanks for watching. Appreciate. Also, Games Workshop asked me to do this, so please look to the left part of your screen at this moment.